Hello and welcome to Flix and Chill with me, Luke. Today I have a very special guest on my show. Jeffrey is here. So, Jeffrey, why don't you take it away and please introduce yourself?
I'm Jeffrey Rahming. I'm a writer for Sif Pop like Luke. I'm from Cary, North Carolina. Lived here for about 8 years. I've lived all around the U.S. I've lived in Washington State, Florida, Tennessee, and now North Carolina. So been around a lot. I like to travel, like to watch movies, and like to write.
Nice. Nice and succinct. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. Okay, so you've traveled around the United States. So
Yes.
how
Yeah.
many, okay, so how many, because you mentioned several, so how many states have you lived in so far?
So far, I would say five. So Washington,
hmm
Tennessee,
hmm
Florida, South Carolina, and now North Carolina.
So
So yeah,
you've
five
traveled,
states.
so you've traveled to both of the Carolinas. That's important.
Yes.
Okay.
They're both okay. I mean, yeah,
They're
they're
both
fine.
totally fine. We
Yeah.
definitely, or you guys definitely need both Carolinas. We don't have to, we cannot, or you guys cannot have just one Carolina. No, no, no. They,
No.
they are so wildly different. Like I've never been there, but I'm guessing they are not that wildly different that we need to. But uh,
If you live in both, you can tell the differences. But if you're
okay,
not from like the American South and you just go to North Carolina and South Carolina, you would think they were the same place. Yeah.
yeah. So what would you say out of those five, right? What is the quote unquote best place, or for you at least, what was the best place for you to live, and what was the worst place and why?
Okay. That's kind of hard because it's like just with life, there's like circumstances, like wherever you live at the time, it's affected by your life circumstances. So it's hard to judge the place. But I would probably have to say North Carolina is, I would say, the best place I've lived in,
Okay.
quality wise. But it's also like I'm never sure how biased I am because I've only lived here as an adult, right?
hmm
So it's like I have a lot of good memories. I have a lot of control, a lot of my own money. So I don't know. But I really do think this is probably the best place I've lived environment wise.
hmm
And then the worst is Florida because
That was quick.
truly everything they say about Florida is like factual. I think it's funny as somebody who has lived in Florida for 5 years in his childhood, and then people will have like Florida stories,
Hmm
and it's like they'll think it's like a joke, and it's like nah, like I'll hear the stories like yeah, that was my daily reality for like 5 years. It really is something in the water down there
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
love like you trying to be all diplomatic about it. It's like I don't know if I can say, and then like 2 minutes later, and divorced Florida. I was like, not even any hesitation. I'm like,
It's a
I
crazy
like that.
place for sure, for sure.
I've heard stories, and I have also had on this podcast Patrice, another fellow Siftop, writer from Florida, and she
Yeah.
was on a defense for her, Floridians out there, on it, for like, is it a crazy place? Sure, but like from what I understood, she actually loves being there and living there, even though, yeah, you occasionally, see a gator. You know, you occasionally spot the Florida man running around and doing wild stuff
Mm.
we all hear about. Out of curiosity, do you know your Florida man? And if, does that question make sense to you? Do you know what I'm asking?
Do I know what? Sorry.
Your Florida man. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? So there, a
No.
couple of years ago, there was a trend where if
Uh,
you Googled the day of your birth, so like for example, mine is August 14th, right?
oh
And
yes,
Google Florida man and your date of your birth, there's
yes.
always a Florida man something pops up. And if I'm not mistaken, mine is like Florida man took his gator and like meth and went for shopping and was arrested because of that, or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
It's
I do remember that trend. I do
yeah.
remember that trend.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so wild that there's a Florida man, like, news headline for pretty much every single day of a year. Like, that's that to me, that's just wild.
It's crazy. That's the crazy thing about that place. It's like the thing is like the stories are funny, and then what but it's
Mm.
like for me like living there, I'm like yeah, it was traumatic. Like as a kid, I'm like there was just wild stuff going on every day in my apartment complex. Like it was not. It was not a joke. It was crazy. It was like, dang, bro,
Well,
need
it's
to
the
get
difference
off the
between
meth.
drama and comedy, isn't it? It's like, how far away removed you're from there. Like,
True.
when you're living it, it's not that funny. But like now, when
Yes.
you're like moved away, you're adult, you have your own money, then you can reminisce and be like, that was kind of fucked up, and now it's kind of funny though.
Yeah,
Just
truly.
wait, so
Yeah.
apartment complex. So have you seen the movie Florida Project?
Yeah, I relate to that movie very
I
much.
was gonna say, like, I don't want to put you in any kind of label or anything, but like,
No, no, no.
how I would say, like, how truthful was that? Like, there's these like the group of people living in that in an apartment complex next to the, Disney World, like the one of the most beautiful, positive places in the world, and then the poorest of the poor, like living right next to them.
The vibe of that movie
Mm.
is pretty accurate. I didn't live in Orlando, and I was
Hmm.
not ever that poor. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know how to put it, but like when I watch that movie, it makes me feel immediately nostalgic. That's how I don't know.
Hmm.
He really did a good job at capturing like the energy of a Florida childhood for sure.
Yeah. I
So
think he even like Sean Baker, like now Oscar winner Sean Baker. I
yep,
think
yep.
he managed to capture the vicious cycle of being poor because I never been to Florida. I didn't grow up in that kind
Mhm.
of project, but I grew up poor. So let me tell
Yeah,
you, that also hit quite close to home for me, even though again I wasn't never as poor, I don't think.
yeah.
Or we were not ever as poor, but we are definitely not up there. Like we are like definitely like
Mhm.
so like it hit home. I was like, damn, that movie is oof. And I've again never been to Florida. So
Yeah,
yeah. So all right, so you've traveled around and now settled in North Carolina.
yeah.
Can I ask why North Carolina? Out of all the places in America where you can go.
Really just work. I mean, I moved down here for college
Hmm.
and I just kind of never left. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have no reason to. So
Hmm. What do you do
I
for a
left.
living, can I ask? Or is it secret?
No, it's not a secret. Mechanical engineer.
Hmm. Okay. What was it?
Mechanical engineer.
Mechanical
Mechanical.
engineer.
Mm.
Okay. I kind of understand what it is, but let's say I don't. What is it? What do you actually do on like day-to-day
Right.
basis?
So that's a fair question. So I say mechanical engineer because that's what I got my degree in. Technically, what I do is project management for construction.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, but that's what I say. I say mechanical engineer because that's like you say your degree is your job title kind of thing.
Hmm. And
But
it
yeah,
sounds
I do
important.
project.
Like that sounds very important.
It's it does sound good. It makes you sound smart, and I know it. It makes you sound smarter if I say mechanical engineer rather than project manager to
Hmm.
me anyway, because it has engineer. And it's like, oh, engineer, and
Hmm.
people who don't know anything about engineering think it takes smarts when really what it takes is I don't know. I mean, getting the degree takes more less intelligence and more like tenacity than anything.
Okay. Okay. I
But
wouldn't
yeah,
sell yourself that short, but okay.
I would.
So you're project manager then? Like, okay.
Yes, yes.
Ooh, what kind of projects do you usually manage?
So it's a plumbing and HVAC company. So it's usually air conditioning or
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. Do you?
pipes.
ha- So, if there's a pipes that needs to be fixed or redone, that's your job, really.
Yeah, if it belongs to the company I'm working for.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
of course,
if the
of
pipes
course.
belong to the company.
Well,
Mhm.
I guess if you're like a project manager, it's not really your job, but you tell somebody else to fix it. You manage the project, but you don't really
Correct.
do, yeah, because you're
But
the
it's if it
the
doesn't get done, you are the one who will get the call, not the person who worked on it.
correct.
Yeah.
How, okay, do you, this is a weird question, but bear with me. Do you like that job? Like, what are the benefits of being in that kind of industry?
Money.
Huh? Fair point. Fair point. Moving on. So is it well paid, the
It's
job
like
then?
you got money, count on your thumb, and then you know,
No, no, no. You get money for working very hard. Like
you
nobody can
know.
replace you. Like if this will be online. Like you need to think for a second. This will be online. So you get a lot of money because you work very hard and nobody can replace
Yes,
you.
I work very
Without you,
passionately.
without you, that company would go bust in like a
Oh,
day.
it falls apart.
Yeah, exactly. Just you're like, you're irreplaceable. It is just,
That's true. That is true.
No, nobody can just get a title as a project manager or project engineer just out of
Hmm.
nowhere, really. No, but okay, so North Carolina project engineer pipes. Okay, I have no more questions. No, is that no? But on a serious note, is that something you see yourself doing in for an like let's say not for a lifetime, maybe, but maybe for next like 5 to 10 years?
I would say hopefully not, but we'll see.
So okay,
We'll
let's
see.
see. Let's okay, okay. Better question then.
Uh,
Let's say you get any pick you want. Like, money is not an obstacle, right?
uh,
You get to do whatever you want to do tomorrow. What would be that one job you would love to do tomorrow if given an opportunity?
it's director, easy.
Ah, director.
Yeah, yeah. Which I think would be the answer of like 90% of the people, maybe on sitcom. But yeah.
Pretty much same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Do you have an idea in head? Like, has there been like an idea or two you've had in your head for a while now, where if I ever get
Mhm.
a chance, this is what I would do?
Yeah, I got multiple
Mold. All
for
right, all
sure.
right. Will you willing to share one or two?
What's one that comes to mind? I've always wanted to do a cross between like The Godfather and vampires. That is
Oh,
something I've always wanted to do.
so like
That's the
Italian
first one that comes.
mafia. So like a mafia with vampires.
Yes, yeah, which I'm sure
Mm,
has already been done. I literally I've looked for like I know that it has been done. I just don't. I haven't seen one that's been done on like a huge scale.
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
would love like a 5 season like Breaking Bad type series of that kind of vibe.
Oh, so we're not talking a
Um,
movie. We're talking about a TV show now. So
yeah, for this idea, yeah, it would be.
ah,
It would
so
be.
okay. So in that case, you wouldn't be like a director per se. You would be a creator.
Yeah, in that case, that
Ah,
was the
like a,
first creative idea that came to my mind because that's one I've
mm.
had since like college. That's what I've always came back to. Yeah,
So like a
idea.
vampire, but in mafia.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, and it
you
stretches multiple generations, obviously, because it's vampires.
you know what's fascinating? So
Mm.
we are kind of the same person because like ever since I was like 10, 11, I remember like
Mm.
getting my first like a notebook and like and writing something, scribbling down something. My first ever story was also about vampires. They were not mafia vampires. They were not
Mm.
that, but it was a vampire story and I still remember that. And I'm like,
Yeah,
and I felt at the time I was like so original, so original. And then I watched all the vampire movies. I'm like, yeah, not that original. Okay, never mind. But
yeah.
yeah,
That's a big reason why I like to watch a lot of movies. Partially, I mean, I like to watch a lot of movies. Like I like movies, but it's also partially because I'm like I want to see how many of the ideas that I think are mine have
mm,
already been done. Because I find that a lot. Like certain scenes, you're like, oh, this would be a great scene in a movie, and then it's been like done in like the 1950s. You didn't even know it. You
yeah.
know?
Or it's like, oh, this is a great concept, and you Google it, and it's like, oh yeah, it's been done like 10 times because I'm not the
Yeah,
first one to
right,
thought
right.
of that concept. But it's a thing,
Yep,
like
yeah.
everything's been done. Like
Yes,
literally, like
yeah,
literally everything has been done. It's more about how do you make it yours. It doesn't matter.
correct.
It's like oh, another vampire movie. Well, okay, but what's your spin on it? And what's your
Yes,
unique take? Where is it gonna be like, is it gonna be set in this period? How is it gonna be shot? Like is it gonna be more modern? Is it gonna be more new? New. There's quite a few things where if you spin it well, people don't care. It's oh yeah, it's vampires again. No, if it's vampires but good, if
yeah,
it's
yeah.
if it's less Twilight, more Nosferatu, I think more people will be like,
Hmm.
you know, no, okay, that's fascinating. So besides obviously we'll talk movies because we both are movie lovers and that's why you're here. But besides
Mm.
movies, do you have any other hobbies? Do you have any other likes? What makes Jeffrey Jeffrey?
I would say movies is my main hobby. Like that is
Hmm.
like what I'm known for in my friend group. So like that is
Yeah.
like my hobby, my thing.
Hmm.
Um, I would say like I wouldn't say I don't have hobbies, but like I would say hanging out with my friends is my hobby. I'm really lucky to still have friends still in the area that
Hmm.
I went to school with, to college with,
Hmm.
and so I like to go out a decent amount. So I would say that would be my hobby. Once everybody moves away, I don't know. But it's good that, like I said, a lot of my friends from college are still around, so we still hang.
Okay, so like the movies are your biggest hobby by far.
But yes, 100%, 100%. Those are a big topic.
Yeah, I can relate. Can definitely relate. Okay. Uh, question: Do you have any like a Tinder profile? And if so, do you have project engineer there as like to be like the draw?
Not as big a draw as you think. I'm pretty short. Um, but I used to. I used
Okay.
to. I probably haven't used Tinder in like 2 years. But yeah,
Mhm.
I used to.
No, I just wonder because like I would imagine not as many people or not as many guys would have that like like how you have occupation. You would see like your
Mm.
stereotypical ones like IT person so and so or like software developer, but I don't think I would see many like project engineer. So I just
Yeah, it's a
wonder.
unique one. Yeah, I
Hmm,
get you get questions about it for sure.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
I think it's a nice opener. It's kind of like like a talking point like
yeah,
gets both of you talking and then
mm.
night takes you someplace else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned five different states. So
Mm.
the next question, I'll leave it open to whichever state you want to apply this to, right? But if I were to ask you, hey, I'm coming to state, fill in blank here. Out of all the five you've lived in, where would you take me? Like for a 1 week holiday, 1 week only.
Oh,
And so where I would ask you, Jeffrey, where would you take me? Where would you go to eat? What's something in that state that's only there and you would recommend me to see? And again, it's a dealer's
hmm.
choice because obviously you've been through quite a lot. So,
Yeah. I would say because this is gonna sound like this might sound like a cop out because this
mm,
is kind of broad, but in Tennessee, anywhere around the Great Smoky Mountains area,
mm,
absolutely beautiful.
mm.
Uh, Go there, get a cabin. Ooh, a cabin would be nice. Cabin in Tennessee mountains is very very nice vacation. Very
Okay.
relaxing.
Hmm.
If it's a great vacation if you want to get away, is what I would say,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just enjoy nature. Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I've done it like once or twice. Yeah, probably twice. And I've spent like ever since moving to North Carolina, always thinking about like I want to do that again because it was just something about the Tennessee mountain range is just so peaceful compared to everywhere else. I mean, North Carolina has, I think, more. Um, I don't know, like the nature of North Carolina is more interesting and it's more beautiful. But
Hmm.
Tennessee, it's like the mountains and the rolling hills and all that. That's just the scenery, the sunsets. It's just I don't know, the vibe's just immaculate.
Yeah, no, I get it. See, but you as such a like movie person, same as
Mm.
aren't you ever like cabin in the woods, middle of nowhere, just myself and I, or like maybe somebody else? Have you,
Uh-huh.
do you not ever go like, oh, what if this turns out like Friday the 13th or cabin in the woods? Like, have you ever had those thoughts like
Mm.
you're whilst you there?
I always figure like in those situations, I'm like the likelihood of if somebody's going to kill somebody in the woods, the likelihood of it being me, it just feels low. So I don't worry about it. But it's like, yeah, I do have those thoughts. Where it's just like, dang, like in my mind, I'm like, it would be crazy if somebody ran up in here and tried to kill. Like, it would be such a rare event that there would be a little bit of me that'd be like, this is kind of cool though.
Mhm.
Like, it's not
I
how I
will
expect this
die,
night
but
to
at least
go.
it'll be cool. That's kind of
Right,
like, oh.
this is not how I expected to die. Like, but this is a better story than like, he died in his sleep. Like I was fighting off an intruder. Okay. Sure.
Fair. Okay. And any particular, okay, let's stay with Tennessee then. I know
Mm.
I know what Tennessee is known for, like, like a hot, wait, is it hot chicken? No.
Nashville hot chicken. I know
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
yeah, what
yeah,
you're
yeah.
thinking.
Nashville. Yeah, Nashville. Yeah, thank you, thank you. But so is there anything other? Because obviously that's like the quote unquote obvious thing, right? But is there anything
Yeah.
else like like in Tennessee that's like, hey, many people know about this, but actually, if you're ever in Tennessee, this is what you need
Mm-mm.
to taste as well.
Mm. The problem is, the ones that come to mind, I like legitimately do not remember the names of them
Ah,
because I'm like
see.
thinking of like hole in the walls I've been to in Tennessee,
Hmm.
and now it's been like since high school, right? Like
Hmm.
that's when I moved away from there. So it's like, that place is really good. What was it called?
Not even a place, but let's see, like a dish
Yeah.
or something like. Like, because again, like the Nashville hot chicken or whatever, like the hot sauce, everybody knows. But
Yeah,
is there
yeah.
anything that's like besides that, like, like a dish or a combination that's like Tennessee unique, many others would not know about unless you live there?
Yeah, not that I can think of because I think the stereotypes in Tennessee are pretty accurate. So it's
Okay.
like what you think of is what you're gonna get. Like you're gonna get really good fried chicken, really
Hmm.
good smothered biscuits, like you know what I mean? Like everything that you can imagine, like that is what they do down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't think there's a lot of secrets when it comes to that.
fair. And so what would be your, let's say you go to a Tennessee, let's say barbecue joint, right? What is
Mm.
your order?
See, it's funny you said Nashville hot chicken because I love Nashville hot chicken.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that would be what I got.
Nobody,
I
no,
love
nobody
Nashville
says
hot
you
chicken.
cannot have that. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Have you had Nashville hot chicken before?
No,
Or just
no.
heard of it? It's very, very good. Very
I
spicy, very flavorful.
I love spicy and I love chicken.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never been to any of the United States. Like I've never been to anywhere. Like
Yes, yes,
like
yes.
I still need to go and I would love to
Uh,
go. Like I say to my girlfriend all the time, we need to go to not just like the quote unquote blue states, like California, like obviously like
mm,
New York, all those, but I would love to go to like Tennessee or Texas or Louisiana because of the food, the cuisine. Like
yeah.
I love like we have this southern inspired restaurant here where I live, and I love gumbo and I love all those things, right? Like,
Yes,
southern
yes, yes.
cuisine is just beautiful. And I know this is probably not the original thing. Or like, I think the owner of that, he actually spent some time in America and he has like a
Mm,
family there. So he brought it over here. So I think it's quite close, but I would love to try like some proper like brisket in America and gumbo and all those like like the shrimp and grits, right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
would love to try because like I watch or my girlfriend and I we watch Hell's Kitchen. So like we
Mm,
always
mm.
see the contestants there like oh my my southern roots I'm doing some shrimp and grits and I'm doing this and this and I'm doing and I'm like oh that sounds so fucking good and the dishes always look phenomenal and I'm like I would love to try it so
Yeah, they are. I spent some time down in Louisiana because my dad had to work there for a
mhm.
couple of years. I just that food is crazy. Like it looks good and it tastes as good as it looks. Probably better. So
No, yeah, like
gotta make it down. You gotta make it down.
I know 100% probably not right now because I think I might be deported like
Yeah,
actually
it's a little crazy right now. I can't lie.
yeah,
Yeah.
right now it's not the America's proudest moments when it comes to what's
No.
happening right and like and this episode we behind the scenes we're shooting
Uh-huh.
this, we're recording this beginning of June. This will drop like September. So like
Okay.
fuck only knows what's happened like now
I
like what's
know, right?
happening right now in September.
I
Like
didn't know there'd be that big of a delay. That's so funny. That's truly like I
yeah,
expect that by the time this comes out, like there'll be a completely different political problem than whatever is happening at the moment.
because right now like the girls have started to fight like
The
Elon
girls
and
is-
Donald have started to we all knew that's gonna happen. I didn't think it's gonna happen this soon, but
yeah,
they are already going at it. And so like I cannot even dare to think what's gonna happen in September. Like
it's a fun time in America. Yeah,
I think it's fun for
it's fun.
everybody else besides Americans. Like I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
really hope you guys are keeping or keeping well and trying to survive. I'm rooting for you. Like genuinely,
Hey,
I'm rooting for you.
we're trying to figure it out. Trying to figure it out.
You do you, man. But like honestly, I
I
not
love,
envious.
that's most countries like other countries think with America right now. It's like you do you, man. Like if
Yeah.
that's what you think gonna take you somewhere, have at it.
Oh yeah. It's just no. Honestly. Oh yeah, before we move any further, I
Uh-huh.
had a question for you. However, you've kind of ruined it, quote unquote, and I'll tell you
Okay.
why. Because
Uh
until 2, 3 days ago, you were kind of one of those like properly off the grid guys. You had no social media, and now somebody started Letterboxd. I'm like,
uh-huh.
oh, look at him. Nice.
Nice.
So, what made you A, why are you so off the grid? What are you hiding? That's the first question. And second question, why start other books now? Like, what motivated you to finally make that jump?
I'm not off the grid on purpose. I'm off the grid because I'm busy.
I
that's
see.
that's my true answer. That is my true answer. And I'm also like in real life, just to be real, like truly a bad texter. So that comes off in every other social interaction, unfortunately. But as for the letterbox thing, Aaron always makes fun of me all the time because every time he does the game that he does in his podcast, I don't have a letterbox, so he has to
Yeah.
like randomize it. And I've always said, I'm like, for like 4 years, I'm, like, I'm going to get one. And it literally is just like, I have no excuse but laziness. I don't know what to tell you. I've just been lazy. And
Hmm.
it's just like, I'll have the ratings even in my head. And I'm just
Hmm.
like, I don't have an account. I don't feel like starting one right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then literally last week, I was just like, I don't know. It just now is the time. I
Hmm.
really don't know why. I don't. I couldn't tell you.
No,
But
that's fair. But no,
yeah,
I'm happy to see you there. Like I'm looking forward to seeing you log more and more movies because I'm always
yeah,
intrigued as to how people rate stuff and how many stuff people tend to watch. And yeah, no,
yeah.
no, it's that's fascinating because and again, like you always on Sift of Writers Room podcast, you always sound like like oh yeah, obviously like he watches movies, he knows what he's talking about, but then like he doesn't have
I don't
letterboxes,
have
but
a
and
letterbox.
I'm like. And I'm like, okay, I would love to know,
Yeah.
how this guy feels about this movie, but like, I cannot until unless I'll invite him over and we talk some movies. So I'm like, all
Yeah,
right, let
yeah,
me invite him over.
yeah.
But yeah, no, well, okay, so there's no specific reason like you are so off the grid. So there's just like you're
Truly
so busy.
none. I mean, just truly. I mean, and I would also say I just don't like social media as much, but it's not a standpoint for me. Like in recent years, that's become like a stance. Like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
anti-social media. I'm like, that's not ever what I was about. Like, even I remember when Snapchat first came out, my friends begged me to get Snapchat for like 2 years
Hmm.
before I finally did. Like, it's just not something that like always interested me. It's like
Hmm.
being online necessarily. So,
See, okay, because of that, I have one more question. So I don't
uh-huh.
know, may I ask, are you in a relationship
Mhm.
or are you like dating right now?
I'm single right now.
You single. So yeah,
Mm.
that's perfect because my question is because I've heard this because I've been in a relationship for the past 7 years, right?
Okay, yeah.
However, I know that if you match a girl or you meet a girl and you tell her, oh, by the way, like, she asks you, okay, what are your social, like, what is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. And if you
Mm.
tell her you have nothing, for
Yes.
many, or for not many, but
Yes.
for some, that's a big red flag. Have you
Yes.
encountered that?
No, because well, here's this thing. I have a Facebook and I have an Instagram and I
Mm.
have a Twitter, which I use
But
like
it's like
once a month.
private. Oh, so that's
No, it's
oh,
not private at all. Yeah,
okay.
you can
Oh,
follow me on Twitter.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
everybody can. In fact, when I do when we did when we do the podcast, I usually plug my Twitter because I don't have a letterbox. So I'm like, I don't know, you can find me there. So
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, you could find me. Like I'm around. It's just that, yeah, the social film world I just never entered in, but it wasn't because of I'm not against it. I
Mhm.
wasn't like trying to avoid it. I was just lazy. I mean, this is really it. Didn't bother to make an account and just like, I'll get to it one day. And I
Okay.
did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. So I see. So you're not totally off the social media. You do have some in that. Okay,
Yeah, I
fair.
have it. I haven't used I don't I've opened Facebook like I said like Twitter once a month and I don't post there.
Hmm.
Twitter
Hmm.
I'll usually post because it's usually something that'll make me want to react like to retweet or whatever, but it's still not that much.
That's fair. No, yeah, and like
Mm.
I did. Unfortunately, I've deleted my Twitter like some time ago because like
Super fair.
I
Super
just,
fair.
and like, look, it was still a bit too late, but I'm like, you know what, fuck this
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm not gonna endorse this anymore. And I'm like,
I
nah,
can completely understand that. Yeah, it's definitely been ever since it turned to a letter. I've used it a lot less, for
yes,
sure,
yes,
for
yes,
sure.
yes. No, like, ev- ev- but yeah. So I think with that we can move to the this or that. But I'll give you two options, and you tell me which one would
Okay.
you prefer and why.
All
So
right. All right.
Jeffrey, iOS or Android?
iOS.
Oh,
Uh,
why?
I just like it better. I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm in the cult. I've had an iPhone since I was like 14, you
Hmm.
know, and I just think Androids to me feel clunkier. That's the thing. I think that's the whole thing about Apple is that they wanted to have an easier interface and they made it. So, I'm a pleb. I'm a basic person. It is what it is.
So do you also have a MacBook as well?
No,
Oh, really?
that's the funny
Okay.
thing about it. Like I prefer iOS like on the phone, but like I actually think Mac laptops kind of stink.
Ah,
But
so you have a
that's
Windows.
kind of an engineer bias because they're very bad for any engineering work.
Mm.
So
So just
yeah,
Windows for like laptop, PC, but like phone-wise, Apple, iOS.
definitely, yeah,
Okay, sensible. That's actually that's very sensible approach.
yeah. Because Macs don't work for anything that I do. Like they're really horrible for engineers.
I think for engineers, yeah. For like artsy people, like editing and
Yeah,
stuff like that. I think an Apple apparently is very good for that. Don't know,
yeah.
wouldn't
Programming is
know.
probably better. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So next one, I don't even know how do you answer this. Well, TV shows or movies?
Movies for me,
Okay,
definitely.
but you
And
do
I
watch
love
some
TV
TV.
shows.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at it. Like when I feel like it's kind of less like I feel like there used to be a time where everybody binge watched stuff, and I was so bad at that. I'm not a binge watcher for the most part, and now I'm kind of more of a binge watcher.
Hmm.
And now it feels like people are getting back into like
Once a week.
what, yeah, and now I'm like not into that. Like I'm not into weekly because I finally got into binge watching.
So you change to be
So
with the crowd, and the crowd changes again, and Jeffrey's like,
you
"What
know
the
what I'm
fuck,
saying?
guys?"
It's story of my life in multiple ways. But yeah, yeah. So as TV shows has always been kind of like I'll watch like one TV show,
Hmm.
and that's my show for the time being. And it's
Hmm.
not really like a thing where like, I feel like usual TV watching habits are, I have like a couple shows I'm watching week to week,
Yeah, yeah.
and I for some reason I just can't do that. Like it's too much. Too much
So
going on.
to be fair, that's fair because there's so much to watch. So what is the
Yeah.
that one TV show for you right now?
Right now it's Homeland.
Ah.
Heard of that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've never
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
it, but it's on my radar. I've heard like the first two or three seasons are supposed to be great, and then it goes
Hmm.
downhill. I don't know how true that is because I haven't seen it, but if I'm not mistaken, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I'm on season 4, and
Okay.
so there's definitely a shift. There's definitely a shift. I currently am still liking it. I actually think season 3 it was like one of those things where in some shows it's like okay we had a premise and now we have to change it because we didn't think we'd get this far. Like they had a plan for 2 seasons, you could tell,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's an 8 season show. So around season 3, there it's just season 3 just kind of feels like floundering around, like just like I don't what are we making a show about now? So season 4 to me at this point feels better only because they've at least found like what is our show going to be from now on. But it's definitely very different from the first 2 seasons
That's fair.
for sure.
No, it's definitely on my list. It's just there's like about 100 different TV shows on my list right now. So it's just,
Yes.
finding the time to actually watch it. It's like,
That's what I'm saying. There's 100 different TV shows on everybody's list. That's the problem.
correct, correct.
Only in my head, I'm one at a time. Like I don't have a list. It's just what I'm
Me
watching.
neither. Like genuinely, like that list is in my head. Like I don't even have a
Yeah.
list anymore because I'm like, this is pointless because like everything will go on that
Exactly.
list. It's just no.
Exactly. Correct.
Um,
Yeah.
Another question is tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Okay, how do you take your coffee?
Uh, really girly, like French vanilla. Like here's the thing, I'm not a fan of either. I'm not a fan of either, but I
Okay,
prefer coffee to tea.
so
Yeah.
but really girly. French French vanilla. What is that? Like, is that? I know vanilla syrup, but like French vanilla. What is that?
Actually, I don't. I like I know that's what I ordered. Like I don't know what makes it French. I don't
Ah,
I don't know French
okay,
vanilla. Like I don't know the difference. That's just
fair.
what I the place I go to is called Bugers Bagels, something like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Bugers Bagels. That's where I go for breakfast.
Hmm.
That's what I get. French vanilla latte.
Well, it's latte, so that makes sense. So I'm okay. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah,
Sounds good. Like you can latte is good as long as it's a decent
yeah,
coffee. It's a decent coffee.
yeah.
Money or free time?
Free time,
Oh,
free time.
interesting. Why?
Uh, because you only got one life and you got to spend it how you want to spend it. I mean, my job, for it's not that hard to be honest. So I have I have more free time than a lot of my other people I went to college with who have jobs that pay significantly more but
Mm,
take significantly more of their time.
mm.
So I would say free time is better. I mean, you have one life. You need to spend it how you want to spend it for the
Yeah,
most part. For
yeah.
the most part.
So you would say you have a very good life work balance right now.
Yes, definitely.
That's always good to have. Like if you feel like,
Mm.
you're like, content with what you have there, now, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, yeah,
Honesty or other people's feelings.
yeah. That's a hard one.
I know, I know.
For me, because it's the real answer is always it depends. I'm not gonna cop out. I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick honesty, but I think you can
Okay.
always be honest in a way where you can mitigate how bad you're hurting their feelings. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's just is what it is. But
I am surprised. I
really,
will say yes, because from our little, like from like our short interaction so far, and from
mm.
me listening to you on other podcasts, you always come across like such a sweetheart. So I'm like, I feel like he's gonna pick other people's feelings because like he doesn't, like he never struck me as that person who's like, you know what, I'm gonna tell you something brutally honestly and just it is what it is. Hmm.
Well, it's hard for me. I mean, like I said, it's not that's not at all how I operate at all
Yeah.
naturally. But I do think it's more important there because I've seen it in multiple people in my life where it's like if you were just honest about the situation,
Hmm.
you wouldn't have to deal with it for like 2 months. You know what I mean? Like people are in emotional situations where it's like all you have to do is speak up, and it might be uncomfortable for a little while, but then at least you won't have to grumble about it for
Correct.
like months and months. And that's where I'm like, honestly, has to come first because at the end of the day, if you the feelings are gonna get hurt either now or later when you get blow up at them and you're mad and you're upset. So you might as well get out of the way. That's how I see it.
That is very sensible approach. I do like it.
Yeah.
Uh, Summer or winter?
Oh, summer for
Hmm.
sure. I've grown to appreciate winters more. I used to really not like winter at all. I used to really not like the cold.
Hmm.
Maybe that's a Florida thing. I don't know, but I would say I've gotten more used to it. But it's still summer. Still
And
summer.
okay, and my second question to that is, how does summer in North Carolina looks like?
Really hot, but not like for me. It's not that hot. Because my family's from the Caribbean, so
Hmm.
it's like whatever. But yeah, pretty hot. Not as muggy as a place like Florida or the Caribbean. It's not really as humid, but yeah, hot but pretty. I mean, the trees here, like in full bloom, are gorgeous,
Okay.
but it's definitely a heater.
Hmm. Okay, so now probably the most important question of all, ninjas or
Okay,
pirates?
ninjas. It's
Why?
my gut answer. I don't know why. uh, Literally, probably just like my brain, just like they're cooler. Like that's
Hmm.
that's my real answer.
Ninjas are cool, to be honest. So yeah.
Ninjas are cooler, yeah. I mean, pirates. It's just I think about getting drunk and like being dirty and like being on the sea. I'm like, like I said, I'm from the Caribbean. Like
Mhm.
I can do that. Like I don't know, I can go to my family's house and do that. Like anywhere. I can't be a ninja anywhere. Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Where can I ask? Where exactly is your family exactly from? Like from Caribbean, like because it's a quite a
Mhm.
broad spectrum, right? So,
Yes,
is
yeah.
there
So
any? Mhm.
my mother's part of my family is from the U.S. Virgin Islands, and
Okay,
my father's part of the family is from the Bahamas.
nice. That's a
Mm.
wow. That's are they still there, by the way? Or like is one maybe one of them, or do you still have some family like someplace
So like
there?
my grandparents, like and like
Mhm.
extended family, yeah, I got a lot still down there, but like everybody, like in my parents' generation, they're all down in the U.S.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
do you occasionally go visit them for like a holiday as well, like just to either of those places?
Yeah, I do. I still do.
That,
It's nice. I used to joke when I was younger though, because I used to go down there a lot more often.
mhm.
And my friends used to be, oh, we're so jealous because you get to go to the Bahamas all the time, and
I mean,
Jeffrey's family has property in the Bahamas. Like, no, I have family in the Bahamas. That's not the same as like having a beach house in the Bahamas at
Oh,
all.
I was gonna say I'm jealous, but not because like I presumed you're rich or anything, but it's just like, oh, you get to go to Bahamas.
Yes, it is. It is
Like,
nice. It
it's
is
like,
nice. Yeah,
holy shit, that sounds nice. I would imagine
it is
that,
nice.
that's like a paradise.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It's just funny because I just felt like at least with my friends when they imagine me going down to Bahamas like a couple times every year, they had in their mind like I was going to like Atlantis. Have you seen like
Yeah.
those hotels? Like, nah, I'm going to like a shack with a bed where 8 people live in it. But it is still nice. I mean, it really is like the island mindset is very different. I mean, they're so much more just appreciative of like life
Hmm.
down
Hmm.
there in comparison to a lot of first world countries, you
Hmm.
know.
Yeah.
So
I think is it like a stereotype they live more in the moment and they can actually enjoy the moment rather than not worry about, like not worry about, oh, what's gonna happen tomorrow or next week or next, like month or whatever. But no, they're like, no, let's live in the moment. We'll deal with it when it comes.
I think that's definitely true. Yeah. I think it's
Okay.
also partially necessity. I mean, because when you don't live in a city and there is, just to be real, there's a decent amount of crime in the Caribbean. I mean, you do have to be alert
Hmm.
when you're actually living there. You're not living in a hotel, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would say for sure there's more of an appreciation for like the day to day and just this is life, like bad, good, whatever. This is life. We're not gonna
Hmm.
be depressed about it necessarily.
No,
Not to
I
say that mental
understand.
health is not a problem. It's just that the focus is on a different thing.
Yeah,
I would
it's
say
more like grounded. Like it's like basically this is
yes,
our
for sure.
reality, and we're not gonna moan about it. We're gonna just
Yes,
we accepted it, and we gonna live with it rather than, oh yeah, we're gonna moan about it every single time we get a chance.
yeah, because you don't have time. I mean, I've traveled a lot of places, and it's this thing in a lot of first world countries. Like you don't understand. It's you have time to moan, which is not to say that the moaning is irrelevant or not true or not. You know, like if it's your emotions, it's your emotions. You
Hmm.
gotta deal with that. It's not like oh, you first world problems, so don't mess with them.
Yeah,
But it is just like it is a privilege of you have the ability to process that as opposed to like, okay, well, I got to deal with this next thing.
yeah.
you
No,
know?
I totally get you. Last question about this: what is like
Mhm.
is there like a one specific cuisine or a dish from like around like that would describe Bahamas?
Okay, so my answer is going to be oxtail,
Oh.
which is
Mm.
going to be claimed by the like if anybody that's Jamaican is listening, they're gonna get mad at me because that is like the Jamaican dish. Like, what do you mean? You think of the Bahamas and think of oxtail? That's me. That's my history. I know oxtail is very Jamaican, but when I think of the Bahamas, I think oxtail because that's what my family
Hmm.
made down there. I would say stereotypically, this is funny. Stereotypically, the Bahamas is more known for conch, like
Okay.
as their like signature dish. And
Hmm.
I've had conch. I think it's all right. The only thing is, my family, most of us aren't anymore. Sorry, grandma, but we grew up Seventh Day Adventists, so it's a Christian sect, and we
Yeah.
didn't eat conch.
Yeah.
So like the main dish of the country, like I never had it growing up. So
I
a
see.
lot of times when I say I'm from the Bahamas, people are like, oh, so you like conch? I'm like, it's all right. I know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, oxtail, my girlfriend, I never had it until I started to date my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She's made this oxtail stew a couple of times. So fucking delicious. And just like
Yeah.
simple oxtail,
Yeah.
some peas in that stew, like onion. Ooh, and like with homemade coleslaw and rice, that's all you need.
That's the thing. It's really not hard to make. It's so good.
It is very good. Like
So
oxtail
good.
is low-key fucking good. Like
Yeah.
very, very good. Okay. Last question before we move to the Flix part. Oh no, no, not before that, but hey, last question is free will or destiny?
Deep.
I know. I
I
know.
wasn't ready for that. I'm gonna say free will, although I believe in destiny of a type,
Hmm.
but I think it's kind of useless to think about. Is the problem.
Ah, how do you mean? Okay. Sounds interesting. How
Like
do you mean?
wow, this is just not just going places I didn't expect. How do I mean? Like I'm trying to. I didn't expect to have to explain this.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I would think I would say like in Oppenheimer, right, where you see all the how they talk about how most of the world is empty space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would say that most of us don't really know what's going on here, and that we're a bunch of neurons and electrons spritzing around, and things
Yeah.
are just kind of happening. We can pretend we understand because the human brain is a reasoning machine, and we like to make reason out of things. But I think it's more of us making sense out of what's here than what's
Mm-hmm.
here actually making sense. So I believe in destiny in the sense of free will is an illusion, in the sense of everything that you think is an original thought probably descends from the necessities and thoughts of the people that comes from the past, right? Like we
Mm-hmm.
are thinking about things because we're in the situation that we're in. If we
Mm-hmm.
lived in ancient Egypt, we'd be thinking about different things. We don't have free will in that aspect. Does that make sense?
Interesting. So first of all, the way you're talking about like, electrons, neutrons, like spoken like a proper mechanical engineer. Like,
Oh my god! Oh
I'm like,
god!
I'm like that tracks.
Disgusted with myself.
That tracks. But also your definition of so wait, so therefore, do you believe any idea you will ever have is not original? By that
I don't even
logic,
know where they. I would say I wouldn't. I don't even know where they come from. Is the problem?
soul.
Soul, you can say that,
Hmm.
but that's kind of like a catch-all term. I mean, we don't really know where these ideas come from. I don't know where the Wachowskis got the idea for the Matrix. I mean, they had a lot of influences, but to coalesce everything like that,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know where the idea for that comes from. I don't know. So, and I don't know if humans will ever know. I mean, that's like where does consciousness come from? I mean, you could say God, you could say this. We don't. Who knows? We
Well,
don't
it's a
know.
thing, like, if you're Christian, they would say Jesus. If you're,
Hmm.
if you're into Islam, they would say obviously uh I'm blanking on totally what's the main guy for Islam?
Allah.
Allah. I was like, duh. If you're Buddhist, it's obviously from Buddha, and
Buddha.
even though
Hmm.
technically, like, not really, but like, so yeah, it's so wait, okay, so in your scenario or the way you view the world, it's more like
Hmm.
we're trying to make sense out of a not nonsense, but out of like a randomness of the universe, and
In a sense, yeah.
therefore, in a way, we are kind of fed stuff from the universe. Or like there because like if we cannot produce original ideas because everything
Hmm.
we think of has already been thought of, and because we are just reflections of our experiences, we are
Exactly. Yeah.
of our like upbringings, like education, all that stuff, right? Therefore, are you that like almost a purist in a way where it's like therefore nothing you or I ever do is original?
Yeah, I would say that's where destiny comes into play into your
Hmm.
question. Because
Okay.
it's like you will have I like because even just outside just the circumstances stuff,
Hmm.
which is a sense of destiny in the sense of you didn't choose where you were born.
Hmm.
Then you have I in the realm of ideas, it's like I said, you don't know where that stuff comes from. So like Walt Disney, like you want to say like, oh, he was a genius and he came up
Hmm.
with Mickey Mouse and he did all this animation stuff and da da da. But it's not like when Walt Disney was born, he was like, I want to be a genius. I want to receive
Yeah.
the idea of Mickey Mouse and I want to receive the idea of Walt Disney World. He didn't will that into existence. Like that's the American dream would like to imagine that he did.
Hmm.
That he just was just so industrious that he figured that out. But it's like not really. I mean, who knows why Walt Disney got Walt Disney's brand?
Hmm.
That's in a sense destiny.
Like in a sense, but isn't it
In
in
a
a sense like,
sense.
in a sense, isn't it like if you go and do what you're best at, like, like he would always like, and I don't know if he planned this empire that became House of Mouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he did, but like he knew he would like to animate, so he started that. Like he like
Mm-hmm.
developed some characters, and then it just took again, like that's the like stuff outside of our control. Meaning, like for example, if you get the chance to direct your movie or a TV show, right? It might
Mm-hmm.
become a sensation like Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad, or it might flop on a first season because for one reason or another, nobody watches it, right? And if
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
audience, if it's no, there's no marketing, there's no audience, it might be the best TV show or best movie ever, But if nobody knows about it, does it exist? You know what I mean?
Yes, which
So
happens
it's
all the
kind of
time.
like,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
100%. No, especially now, like so many movies, TV shows, like, again, like so much to watch.
Mhm.
And like, so in that case, it's more like, isn't it like a, it's not like, I think he was a genius, but at the same time, was he also in the right place at the right time for his time period? 100%. But I think that's like
Mhm.
for any successful person and any a person of some sort of importance. Yes, they had to have some sort of knowledge, some sort of like, experience in their field, whatever that field is. But I think what many real successful and really smart people tell you, there is an element of what we would probably call luck rather than destiny you cannot
Mhm.
control. And then,
Mhm.
so again, and that's where it comes to play, where if you do this thing at this particular time, it will secure you until you die. Because you'll make you super rich, you'll become person of interest, whatever. But if you do it
Yeah.
just like day later or a month later, it will slip through the cracks, even though you made exactly the same thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Or, for example, if
tell
you
me.
were Walt Disney back in the day, if you had Walt Disney's ideas and brain or whatever, but you were African American in that time, it
Yep,
does not matter. It does not matter. You're not getting those opportunities. It's not happening. So,
that is
that's where
true.
destiny has to come into play. Like you just can't ignore that. But
Hmm.
I say free will over that because you can't only control what you can control.
Hmm.
So it doesn't really do good for you to worry about like circumstances in those terms,
Hmm.
even if that is true, if that makes any sense. Like I just don't see what it benefits. Like day to day, I can't think about that, but on the grander scale of things,
So you
I
basically
think
what you're
it's
saying is you need to focus on what you are in charge of and forget
yeah.
about the rest of it.
I would say that, yeah, for sure.
Sensible. That sounds like a free will to me, but okay. No, I'm just being cheeky. No, okay. No, I do like that thinking. I do think there's something to that. And obviously, like, your point about if he was African American especially at that time, yeah, we're not gonna have any House of Mouse
You
now,
can have
I
all
tell
the
you.
ideas you want. Like it
Correct.
doesn't matter.
Correct. Yeah. No, no, no. We would have, something like that. It just wouldn't be Walt Disney.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
Okay. And before we move to the Flix part of this podcast, do you have any hot takes or controversial views you would like to share with us?
Yes.
Tell me.
Mainly, this is more of I would say this is not an attack on people who have this view. It's more of a question. I actually don't understand people who can't separate art from artists. That
Same.
is that is my hot take. It's my hot take because I'm saying I don't understand it. I'm not mad at people. I just
Hmm.
legitimately like what I don't get is when if you don't want to listen to an artist because of a controversy, that's fine. I don't understand why people take it on themselves to like crusade. You should not be listening to a certain artist because of this or that. Like I don't understand it at all. Like how can you police somebody else's consumption?
No, yeah,
That's just strange.
I do agree. So do you have a specific artist in mind?
Yeah, well, that's like artist in mind would be it could be anybody. It could be Kanye. It could be R. Kelly.
Hmm.
Anybody,
Hmm.
because it's not really about Michael Jackson. It's not really about the artist specifically as much as it's about like I don't know. I like I said, I legitimately don't understand. Like if somebody puts art out into the world and it affects you emotionally, that connection is between you and the
Hmm.
art. I feel like
Hmm.
if that makes any sense. Of course, the artist has a piece in that because they made it, but at the end of the day, it's like you don't know these people, and I don't think you should be expected to defend somebody. Like, just for example, I don't think you should be expected to defend whether or not Michael Jackson is innocent or guilty of touching children, dependent on like Thriller. Like I'm not gonna listen to Billie Jean because I need to look into the legalities of this man. Like, no, like that doesn't make any sense. My connection with Billie Jean is not about that,
Yes.
at
Yeah.
all.
Mhm.
So that's just how I see it.
No, I've always said that okay, so I totally agree with you, 100%,
Mm.
because I've always said this. If you want to truly separate the art, sorry, if you truly cannot separate the art from the artist, you will have a miserable experience with any kind of art you're trying to consume. Like whether it's music, whether it's movies, whether it's books,
Mhm.
whether it's fucking paintings. Like
Yeah.
many
Yes, like anything.
like like many people they make the best kind of or they've made the best kind of art there is, whether it's again Michael Jackson, Woody Allen, Kevin Spacey, right? Like do I like here's an example. Do I like Kevin Spacey now? No, because what seems to have happened and all the people that came forward just so happened to die. Three out of four suicides? Interesting. How does that work? Interesting. But okay. I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying, very interesting. But at the same time, because of that, do I believe Kevin Spacey is any less talented than that? And he's not one of the most talented actors of his generation. Unfortunately, he is still fucking talented. So that's the thing.
Yeah, so what I was saying was with Kevin Spacey, it's like you can't ignore the work that he did, and it's like my go-to with that would be like Kanye, where it's like for me as a fan, it's hard for you to even if you're not a Kanye fan, like for someone else to tell you like, oh, it was never that good. It's like, well, if you're saying that reaction and what he's doing right now, it's like I don't know what to tell you. Like, obviously, I don't support what he's doing right now. But it doesn't mean that the music that he made in the 2000s was not crazy good. Like, you just can't really get around that.
Mm, mm.
So, yeah.
No, yeah, for Kanye, like it's much easier for me because I've never been such a big fan of his. Like
Mm-hmm.
heard some of his songs, but I'm like, it's always sounded fine to me. I'm like, okay. I never seen that kind of like a, oh, he's a musical genius. But I know people who have, you know, said that before. So for me, watching his downfall specifically and specifically why and what he's saying and doing, I'm like.
Yeah.
My dude. My dude.
Yeah.
And especially
And
now he's got a literal song called Heil Hitler.
yeah, little ditty.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Like I said, I'm not into defending him and his actions in the
Hmm.
slightest. I will say as a fan of his music,
Yeah.
to be specific, um, that the him as a person, he does a lot of shock and reactionary tactics that I wish that people understood that that's what that was. Because then I'm like,
Hmm.
you are feeding him every time that you react to this nonsense. You're feeding his insanity. But it's not like anybody's fault. Like, I'm not saying it's like, oh, the public is affecting his mental health. But no, he's tweaking on his own. So I'm just saying, like what if you did not give him the attention, this would not be happening. I promise. That's my opinion on what's going on
I
with that.
I hear you. I hear you. And to a degree I understand and
Mm,
to a degree I actually agree with you. But I think and I cannot believe I'm gonna say this. I
mm.
honestly feel like him leaving Kim Kardashian was probably the
Mm.
worst thing he could have done because it seems like she at least, or that family somehow kept him on the drugs he needs.
Need
If there's a bipolar person, if I ever seen one in my life, it's Kanye West. And again, that's
yeah.
not any fucking shade or me being like cheeky towards him. No,
No,
like
no, it's just
he
yeah.
genuinely seems like a person who is almost crying for help at some point. And I'm like, that's not even funny. This dude should get help. Like,
Yeah, he's yeah.
he's
That's another thing when we talk about stuff like that. It's like a lot of these dudes, men and women who get canceled or whatever. It's like they have legitimate mental health problems, and I think it's kind of weird that we have a society that has like very like gung ho about mental health, and yet also struggles to extend that to celebrities for some reason.
mhm,
And it's like, or to be like, oh, well, mental health does not excuse you from being an asshole, which it doesn't excuse you from the consequences of being an asshole. But it's like, yes, mental health can be a reason that you're an asshole. Like we can't act like like people weren't put in mental asylums because they weren't assaulting people on the streets. Like no, like that's a part of mental health sometimes. That's a part of
yes.
mental health sometimes, and you can't necessarily always extract that.
What do you mean?
So
You
yeah,
want a nuance here? Like, what do you mean? No, we live in a world where everybody, it's black or white, right? Everybody's either
Yeah,
100% good or 100% bad. Like, what is this?
yeah, yeah. And and whether 100% good or 100% bad depends on the week.
Correct. No, it's I like no like but since kind of like Me Too, Kevin Spacey, and all those people, right?
Hmm.
I've learned not to not I'm not gonna say root, but I'm gonna say I've learned to fan over any specific celebrity in a way where like, oh yeah, they could do no wrong. Oh, I love them so
No,
much
yeah,
because like that's I think that's the ultimate message here, I think. Nobody, like, no matter how many interviews you've seen with them, no matter if you follow them on their like Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or whatever, fuck, doesn't matter. You do not know any of these people unless you actually
nope.
do. Unless you actually do, okay, in that case, that's fair, then you can talk and then be like, all right, I actually do fair. But, nobody knows, like, this could be the nicest person ever, and behind the closed doors, it could be like a total fucking dick. Like,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
there was this just now, like, now, do you know the rapper Doechii?
Uh, Dochi, yes. Mhm.
Yeah. So like I was like, oh yeah, she seems cool. She's got the anxiety, somebody's love, and it's
Hmm.
like, and I'm like, it's a good song. I don't mind it. And then she already has like a controversy where basically like a Met Gala dress, like she was basically not nice to her own staff, demanding more
Hmm.
umbrellas for her outfit that was like kind of mid. And I'm like,
Yeah, kind of whack. Yeah, I didn't know this incident. Yeah.
and I'm like, really? All that for first of all, even if it was the most beautiful outfit ever, I would still be like, but like I understand we live in this world, but like fucking 30 minutes later, like really? I'm like,
Right.
I'm like, girl, you just
All
started.
for that.
Like yeah, like you just started. Like I'm rooting for you. It's kind of like the Tyra Banks meme, right? Like I was rooting for you. We were all
Yes. Yeah.
rooting for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was rooting for you. Like girl, like why would you like like basically she pulled like Mariah or like Beyonce, like like as if like
Yes. Yeah.
I have 20 years of experience in this business, therefore I'm gonna treat you like
Yeah.
shit. And I'm like, girl, you just started.
Yeah.
Like chill the fuck down. Like no, don't be like
Yeah.
that to your own staff members, like to the people you
Hmm.
employ. Like and then have a song about anxiety. It's kind of it's kind of
That
like
is
that.
kind of funny. That
Like,
is kind of funny.
isn't it ironic, as Alanis Morissette would say? Isn't it ironic?
Yes.
Don't you
Yes.
think?
Very ironic.
So like yeah, like basically, and there's like tons of like other like examples where like you don't know these people. Like
Yeah.
we cannot root for them. Like no, not root. You feel free to root for anybody, obviously, but don't we cannot be certain that somebody is either so great it's unbelievable or so bad it's unbelievable. Because most of the time the
Yeah.
truth is kind of in between. Like
It's always in between when it comes to public opinion because it's public opinion will always go to the furthest extremes of whatever like that's the problem with celebrity culture is like the same thing that makes people idolize people is the same thing that will make you demonize them later like it just you shouldn't put
yes,
anybody that high on a pedestal like
yes.
you're going to knock them down like it's just yeah it's yeah
And we've seen it, unfortunately, with women in this industry. Like, I still remember, like, when she broke through like, on a scene and won her first Oscar, everybody loved Anne Hathaway. And then there was a period of
yeah
time where
yeah
suddenly everybody hated her. I'm like, wait, what happened? What did she do? Like, I
and I
don't
still don't
understand.
know why yeah
Me
it's
neither. I'm
weird
like, what the fuck, my girl? Like, I've always been her fan, and I'm like, what did she do exactly? Oh, nothing. We just kind of hate her. I'm like, what the fuck? And the same happened with like Jennifer Lawrence. Like for there was a
hmm
couple of years where she was like, oh,
yeah.
everybody on the internet like loved Jennifer Lawrence, and now it's just, oh, she's so fake. She's so down to earth, but it's all fake. It's all... I'm like, what did she do now? Like, what? I don't understand. Like, people, what the.
And it would be nothing. Like it's just like Jennifer Lawrence and this annoying thing that annoyed like me. Like like that would be like what the article would be about. Like Jennifer Lawrence did something and annoyed me.
Yeah,
And that would be like I'm like, this is not news. Like
yeah.
you're
It's
literally
just
just writing hit pieces on people.
no, yeah, so I'm like, oh, honestly, like, good for the celebrities who stay off like Instagram and like, Twitter or whatever, and just like, hey, I'm just chilling. And I'm like,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
for them, as long as they are good people, as long as they are not, you know, part of some party that kind of
Yeah.
like, hangs out with children. I'm like, don't do that, please. No, just I don't. Anyway, any other hot takes you would like to share with us?
No, but I'd like to add on
Hmm.
also in general with the Me Too stuff.
Tell me.
And this is not the best example
Okay.
uh to go to, but this is a good quote from Jerry Seinfeld where when he was asked about this,
Hmm.
all the one in the middle of in the midst of the Me Too movement, and they said, "Oh, what do you think about all this stuff going down in Hollywood?" He's like, "Do you mean all this stuff going down in the world? Because it goes down in business places and workplaces,
Hmm.
in government." And it is just for me, it was one of those things where we judge celebrities a lot of times on stuff where, like, if you pull back the curtain on regular society, a lot of that stuff is actually happening, like, in your neighborhood. Like,
Yeah.
not to be crazy about it, but just honestly, it's just one of those things where it's like because in that society, in that section of society, you have a group of people where their entire life has cameras on it and someone analyzing it all the time. You're going to have a picture of all their bad moments,
Yes.
in a way that the regular populace does not have. You're
Hmm.
not going to have people following you around trying to watch you slip up. And if you
Yeah.
did, you find a lot of slip ups. So that's kind of my thing with any cancellation is it's just kind of like some of it, of course, is like, well, this is just a crime, like.
Yeah.
But some of it, like I never I know about the video of Dochi and I haven't seen it, so I don't know how bad it was. But an example like that, where it's like, oh, like they yell at their staff, it's like I don't know if these people yell at their staff all the time. Now, if she has like a reputation for it over time, that's a problem.
Hmm.
But it's like I know, having worked in my industry, like if I had to, if I had a camera on every time a very nice person called somebody a motherfucker because it was just that frustrating of a day, you'd be like, they're canceled. Oh, he's an asshole. It's like, no, I had a bad day. I've seen
Yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of really grown ass men have some really bad days. So, I have some grace for that kind of stuff.
No, but it's
Where
the
it's like,
thing. Like,
oh.
yeah, no, 100%. Like, if it's a one-off thing, like, I'll be like, okay, like, look, if it happens multiple times, you're just being a
Yeah,
dick.
that's a
Doesn't,
pattern. Yeah.
like, if there's a pattern, you're just being a dick. But yeah, no, 100%. Like, everybody can have an off day. And if they are people, not even paparazzis, but like people with their phones out, and they just
Mm-hmm.
happen to video you having the worst day, I also don't think you should be judged off of that. But as you pointed out, somebody as Jerry Seinfeld making that point is also not great
Yeah,
because like
he's not.
somebody who's been dating this girl, like they are now married, but like they did meet when she was 16 and
He's
picked her
like
up from
35 or something.
her high school. I'm like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, that's a great quote. I wish it came from anybody else.
And I'm like, yeah, that reminds me of that meme. The worst case, the worst person you just made a brilliant point. And it's like,
Yeah,
boom.
exactly. Yeah. Like, why you were the worst person to make this point, but it doesn't mean that it's not a good point.
Correct. Correct. It's like,
Unfortunately.
yeah. So, anything else you want to add?
No, that's it for me.
All right. I think with that, we can move to the Flex part of the podcast and finally talk some movies. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Nice. So, here's the time of, or a part of the podcast where I ask you, Jeffrey, what is the last new movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So, anything 2020s onward.
So I want to clarify just so I do have everything prepared, but
Mm-hmm.
when you said last, you did mean like the last one you saw,
Yeah,
right?
the
Yes.
last one
Okay.
you saw, yeah.
Understood. Understood.
Yes.
So new movie, I'm going to say Oppenheimer. That's the last one
Nice.
I would rate a 5 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah. Obvious choice, easy choice, but yeah.
But like yeah, I think it's many things have been said by me even on Oppenheimer. I'll just
Mhm.
say again one thing. It's insane how in any other pretty much any other director's filmography, this movie would have been leaps and bounds their best movie they've ever made. And
Yeah.
it's Christopher Nolan's filmography, you can find if you tell me 5, 6 movies of his you would prefer as his number one, I would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's
Definitely.
it's that fucking insane. Like we just had a debate about it this morning where it's like, oh yeah, Dunkirk is like maybe like a lower tier of his, and three people were like, no, Dunkirk is amazing. I'm like, no, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying like I would choose these four movies over that, but Dunkirk is still a phenomenal movie, and that's my point.
Mhm.
It's such a great
Yeah,
movie.
exactly, exactly. It's
Okay,
hard
so
to choose Nolan.
and Oppenheimer. Okay, so I'm guessing you were also happy when he finally got his directing Oscar.
Yeah, but it felt like it had to happen. Like it was one of those things where it felt like if they didn't give it to him this time, it was like you might as well just give him a placard that said "fuck you." Like like at this point, like you had to give him the Oscar. It's just yeah, no way.
I loved how it was set up that Steven Spielberg himself like handed over that Oscar. It's almost like, it was like a symbolic where it's like, hey, new timer, it's your time
Yeah,
now. It's just that was nice.
it is symbolic. They know who's gonna win. That's like when Martin Scorsese won his Oscar. Like it was presented by Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, and I think Brian De Palma is like, oh, what a coincidence! His three friends
I know,
happen to
right?
be presenting the Best Director Oscar in the year when he finally won after like 30 years. Like, yeah, but it's still cute when they do
It is cute, like, but yeah,
that.
it is such a coincidence. You're right, such a coincidence.
Yeah.
So, what is the last quote unquote teen movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So, anything between 2003 and 2019.
Squeaking right in at 2018, I believe, Spider Verse. That was the last one I saw.
Oh,
That rate
Into the
5
Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider Verse. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
First one.
Okay, that's a great choice. Why that movie? Well, by the way, what is it you love about that movie?
I don't know. It's just so enjoyable. Like it's just there's some movies like I'm a big fan of movies where it's like I don't know like The Irishman, like they're long, they're epic, and they make you think. Like I'm a big fan of those, and so a movie like Spider Verse where it's like an hour and 45, and it's just like breezy and great and damn near perfect in my opinion. I've seen it so many times, just really rewatchable, you
Hmm.
know. And I'm not really a kind of person that likes to like rewatch movies a lot, so the fact that it has the effect on me is like that's a good sign to me. Like I don't tend to do that a lot because really because of the type of movies I like. Like you can't rewatch The Irishman every day or something. I
Yeah,
love it,
yeah.
but you know, it's just not good for you actually if you wanted to watch this kind of movies every day.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my like go to like easy watch
Hmm.
is Into Spider Verse. Yeah.
How do you rate the Across the Spider-Verse? Where do you stand on that?
Dude, that's the thing, and the conversation kind of died down now because it's been so long since that movie came out. It feels like it's only been like 2 years, but it feels
Yeah,
like
two
forever.
years. Yep.
But my rating of that really because I did a review for that for Sitpop.
Hmm.
I gave it like well, I don't know what rating system we were using at the time. I think it was different, but I gave it a good review, a stellar review. I loved it, but it's kind of dependent on how good the next movie is, how much I, in general, will say that movie is quality, if
Hmm.
that makes any sense. Like I like it right now, but that ending, well, let me see where it goes.
Yeah.
Let me see where it goes. It's not a full story. That's my only issue with it, and that's that's
O-
that's how I feel. It's not a full story, but it's a good movie.
Okay. I will say this as because I'm
Mm-hmm.
the opposite of you. So
Mm.
I love Into the Spider-Verse, but I adore Across the Spider-Verse. And I'll to
Mm.
your point about the ending, because that's the only gripe people seem to have with that movie, which is fair because it's an
Yeah,
amazing
that's it.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say this, the first time I've seen that movie in a cinema, I was pissed how it ended. Because I wanted, and
Mm-hmm.
simply because I wanted more. And it just didn't feel like almost 3 hours flew by because they just flew by so quickly. And the second time when I watched it also in a cinema with a friend, because I was like, damn, was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That ending didn't bother me as much. And the third time I rewatched it at home in a beautiful 4K because I bought a
Mm-hmm.
4K.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a physical media collector and I bought a 4K disc. Uh, I am of the mind where it's a full story. It's except it's a Gwen story. And yes, does it end a bit more like a
Yeah. Okay.
TV show? It's like, does it have
Mm-hmm.
the more like a TV show kind of ending? Sure, I'll give you that. But it doesn't actually bother me. What bothers me is they promised us, oh yeah, next March 2024, you will
See,
get
yeah.
Beyond. It's like now it's like 2029, and I'm like, fuck me, man. Like I wish they have not done it like that. Yes. Because like now, like if they actually delivered, like and we would have already had Beyond Spider-Verse, that would have been awesome. But now we need to wait another 4 years, and I'm like,
And the
mm,
problem with waiting is that I don't know exactly how to describe why this is, but like that ending is an ending that is prepared to have a movie that comes out in like a year. I don't know how to put it, but like you know what I
yes,
mean? Like it's
yes,
not supposed to be like a 8 year gap and
no,
you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and then finally you get like it's not a good effect. I mean, it's like if they made us wait actual 5 years for Endgame to come out. Like it's not
yes, yes.
it's not looking good,
No,
and I'm
it's
hoping
not.
that's going to be good. But I'm like the fact that you guys have gone back to the drawing board so many times, it feels like is not looking great, and it feels to me like y'all made a good first movie with no plan on what you're going to do for the second one. If the second one is garbage, it does affect how I feel about Across the Spider Verse. It will, you
Yeah,
know. So we'll
yeah.
see.
No,
We'll see.
that's fair. Just like again, like I totally adore Across the Spider-Man. Like for some reason, I don't know why, it just hit me more than the first one. But again, I still love the
Hmm.
first one.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not shit talking the first one. I just
Yeah, they're
like
both
I.
very good movies.
It is
I can't argue with
exactly.
Across the Spider Verse in terms of the
It's just
movie
like
itself is very good.
yeah. No, for some reason, the second one just hit me somehow a bit more. I don't know why.
Hmm.
I think maybe it is the fact that it's more about Gwen and her storyline about her, joining the new band, and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
whilst that's happening, she's also figuring out the relationship with her dad. And finally, there's the moment where they kind of make up, kind of, like he sees, her for who she is. I thought it
Hmm.
was a
Hmm.
very great, like, very nice and touching scene. I was like, that's nice. And I now, again, cannot wait for Beyond, what's gonna happen with Miles. I
Hmm.
just wish we wouldn't have to wait until 2029. Yes, you're absolutely right. Like, it shouldn't be 6 years between these two movies. Absolutely
Yeah,
right.
it's not, and not even just because of oh I'm a fan I want it, but because literally the structure of the movie is structured for next year you get the resolution, not 8 years
Yeah,
from now
yeah,
you get the resolution.
yeah. But yeah, so what is the last quote unquote adult movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So anything between 2002 and 1975.
So the last adult movie is Schindler's List.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
easy 5 out of 5.
that's a heavy one.
Yeah, and it gets a big vote for me because I'd say special place because it's the only movie that has made me cry, and it's like a double record. It's like it's the only movie to make me cry. It's also the only movie to make me cry multiple times. So it's like you
Wow.
made me cry, and also I watched you again. And I was like, it's not going to get me again for a second time. It did. I was like, dang, it's
Wait, you watched
crazy.
it twice?
I've seen it like 4 times. It's a great movie.
I'm not disputing that, but like that doesn't seem like a movie you would like to. I don't know. I wouldn't want to like. I watched it once so far, and I'm bracing myself to
Yeah,
rewatch it because I know it's a great movie, but
I
also
get
it's
you.
a bit fucking dour movie, and it's
As hell.
supposed to be because
Yeah.
obviously like the subject matter is kind of not happy. So like it just makes me I'm curious. I don't think I know anybody else who would watch Schindler's List 4 times.
I would like to iterate. It was four. I probably saw Cinder List for the first time end of high school, so it's probably been 8 years. Four
Okay.
times in the past 8 years. So it's not like it's not like I'm like, man, I got to go back to Schindler's List every couple of weeks. Like it's not like my Spider Verse, where I'm like, let me pop that in.
Yeah.
But no, I've watched it multiple times, and I get. I'm now just thinking about the fact that that is one of those movies where most people who have seen it say they've only seen it one time, and I'm like, that makes sense. And I'm I'm thinking about that. Like I can understand that, but I would say that that's a bit unfortunate because that is a movie that has so much going on in it that there's stuff that you will only see on like your third watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can understand why. And like, so the reason I watched it multiple times because the first time I watched it, I didn't watch it again for like another 4 years because I mean it was like that was very powerful and it made me cry. And like I said, movies don't usually make me cry, so I was like, that was uncomfortable. I really want to experience that again.
Hmm.
So it had been a while when I finally went back to rewatch it. The second time I watched it, like Spielberg's technique in that movie blew me away. And so the other 2 times I watched it, it's because it's like it's just filmmaking wise one of the best movies ever made in that technical level, besides the emotional stuff, which is also incredible.
Yeah.
Like just like some of the long takes that he does, and it's like how the hell do you even do this and make it look and feel this real? Like it's just it's a movie that impresses me on that level.
Hmm.
But yes, I think if you've only seen it once, it's kind of hard to get past that barrier of that was horrific. I don't want to watch that again. So
Yeah.
I understand why most people only seen it one time, but you are missing out. I will say
No, I
you're missing
will
out.
look. I'll definitely need to rewatch it because it's been like kind of like you. It's been since not even high school. I think we watched it in a primary school, but it was
Oh
like
wow,
but it was primary school when
Jesus.
we were like 14, 15. So that was like
Okay,
when
okay,
we were
okay.
like older. Because in where I come from, primary school like is from like age of 6 to age of like 15, like for 9 years,
Okay,
really.
okay.
So also funny enough. You mentioned Jerry Seinfeld before, and then like a Schindler's List. That brings me. Have you actually watched Seinfeld?
I've seen like parts of it. Like it was always on TV when I was a kid, but I've never watched like all of Seinfeld.
Because there's one of the most famous quotes is like, "You made out during the Schindler's List."
Yeah,
Who
okay, I
makes
know
out
that
during
quote.
Schindler? Because George, I think George takes his date to see Schindler's List, and they make out. They end up making out. You made out during Schindler's List.
Yeah, I've heard that quote for sure.
Yeah. So, like, it's funny how you mentioned Jerry Seinfeld 20 minutes ago, and now we end up talking about Schindler's List, and I'm like, okay,
Not on purpose at all. So I didn't even think about that quote.
that's yeah. And what is the last old movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So anything 1974 and older.
So there's a movie called Sweet Charity. There's not a lot of movies from back then I would give a 5 out of 5. But Sweet Charity, I give a 5 out of 5. Have
Sweet.
you heard of Sweet Charity?
No, what is it about?
So it's a movie by Bob Fosse, who made All That Jazz and Star 80.
Oh yes.
And I
Hmm.
think Sweet Charity is his first movie. And I saw this movie probably like 2 years ago. So it's like, it's just one of those things where, I don't watch a lot of movies before that old, right? So when I think about one that's 5 out of 5, it's one that I saw a while ago. But Sweet Charity is like about this woman who's just trying to find love, and she is just unlucky as all hell.
Hmm.
And it's a very simple premise, but the actress, I'm forgetting her name right now, but she is just so charming. I think it's
Shirley
something
MacLaine.
Shirley MacLaine. I was about to say something like Charlene McDonald, like to get real close and miss. But yeah, Shirley MacLaine is so good in that movie, so charming. The way they do the musical scenes are like nothing I've ever seen. Where it's like it's this really good blend of like classic like West Side Story type dancing, and then
Hmm.
also Bob Fosse has like a lot of really cool cinematography flourishes and really cool editing in there. It's just like really unique, and I think it's probably why Bob Fosse was allowed to make movies like All That Jazz is because Sweet Charity. I mean, it's really Sweet Charity is just so good. Like I feel like he probably got like free reign to do like, oh, okay, we'll give you money to do whatever you want because you're clearly a very talented director. Like
Yeah.
it's one of those kind of star making movies for sure.
So I haven't seen that, but now I have made a mental note to watch it. And speaking of, but I have seen just this year, about a couple of months ago, All That Jazz for the first time. Have you seen that one?
What an yes, what an insane movie, huh? Isn't that movie
I
crazy?
see. I like crazy. Like to me, that's one of the best movies. Like
Yeah, it's
that's one
really
of the
good.
that's one of those movies. Like literally, like the last couple of I think I've seen it like 3, 4 months ago, and I still
Mhm.
remember when that movie finished. I had a real inkling to just press the play button again because I was like, "This is fucking phenomenal," and I
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to get that Criterion Blu-ray because that movie is just the way like it throws everything at you, and then and you're already like enjoying everything, you're enjoying everything, and then the last 20 minutes happen. And then now suddenly it just kicks it up in a whole nother gear, and I'm
A
like, holy
whole notch,
fucking
yeah.
shit! That was like, and this was Bob Fosse about his own life, right? This is basically his biography in one picture, from
It's
what I
just like
understand.
what a way to make an autobiography.
Hmm.
That's what I find so cool about that movie. It's like it's really unique because it's like there's not a lot of movie autobiographies that exist, and there's also not a lot of movie. There's not a lot of autobiographies in general where it's like he's very clearly aware of all the faults and he's not afraid to put them out there.
Yeah.
And he did in fact die of a heart attack. Like he called that. Like, like
Yes, he did.
it's really it's almost eerie. Like it's like he's like, yep, this is me. This is my life. Here it
Hmm.
is. Yeah, I love that movie.
No, like, but I will definitely check out. Like again, ever since I saw all that jazz, I'm like, I need to check out more from Bob Fosse, and so therefore,
Yes,
I
yeah.
definitely need to check out Sweet Charity as well. And Shirley MacLaine is always great, so yeah,
Mm,
give me more of that. Okay, so
yep, yep.
would you say is your favorite movie decade?
Okay, favorite movie decade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still finding. I want to say 70s.
Nice.
It's probably 70s, but 80s is finding real hard, and it's like they're battling, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
my real answer is 70s, but 80s in a close behind.
No, 70s is again, that's like a proper like a cinephile answer.
You
That's
know what I'm saying? Like it's just so basic. I hate it.
no,
But
it's
80s
not,
is also like the second most basic. So,
but it's basic for a reason. Like I always say, look,
yeah,
there are stereotypes, and some of them are
yeah,
bad, but all stereotypes are based on some sort of truth, right? And some
correct.
like
Yes.
basic answers are based, there's a reason why they are basic answers, right? Because
Mm,
there are a bunch of great movies made in 70s and bunch of
so
great.
many.
Exactly, and many of our best directors, that's where they had their start, really. Like Spielberg, George Lucas, Francis
Mm,
Ford Coppola, Scorsese, like Brian De Palma, like all those, like that was at the time that was the big five, really. Like Brian De
yeah,
Palma
yeah.
now has fallen off, unfortunately, but like he once in that was in that club, and if you listen to those four, like Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, Francis Ford
Hmm.
Coppola, talk about directing, they often talk about him and how highly they talk about him because he is still to this day one of them. They like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if his filmography or his career past 1990 or 2000 was not as quote unquote great, I would still say there's like at least two, three great movies in that. But many
Mm,
people wouldn't have seen that. So it's like, yeah, but no, 70s are, the default answer for a reason.
it really is. Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's not. It's also a lot of. I mean, technical innovations as well. I mean, with Star Wars and Jaws and ILM coming up, like that's when movies to me like start. Like that's when blockbusters start, right? I mean,
Yep.
that's a big. It's kind of hard to get away from that, you know, like because that's all of that's all of culture now. You
Well,
know, before,
Jaws started the
yeah,
blockbusters, yes, and then
you're
Star
right,
Wars
exactly.
established, that Star was like, oh yeah, this is what's gonna happen from now on.
So it's hard to avoid, like, because we grew up in a culture where like that blockbusters, when when we grew up, was just like a thing.
Yes, has
You
always
know, they
been a
weren't
thing.
new
Yeah,
anymore. It's
yeah,
always been a thing. And so for 70s to be like when that first started, it's like, yeah, that's like the origin point of everything I love in my mind.
yeah.
You know, so
No, 70s. Like again, and I don't think anybody can blame you for being quote unquote basic. It's a great answer. So we've heard some of your hot opinions or controversial views on life. Do you have a hot take or controversial opinion about movies?
I don't know if I do in general.
Okay,
I missed that one on your list, to be honest.
that's
But
fine.
usually I feel like my hot takes are like they'll surprise me. So like I'll say something where I'm like everybody knows this sucks, and everybody like what? Everybody loves this movie. I'm like oh,
Okay, so what
like
was the last movie you said? Oh, everybody knows it sucks, and you got that kind of response. Do you remember?
here's a tepid take.
Okay.
This is not hot. This is the last like where I know I'm out of sync with where the general public is right now. I reviewed Sinners for the site. I think Sinners is a great movie, but
Hmm.
like on the lower side of great. I don't think it's a classic. I think a lot of people are talking
Ooh.
about like it's a classic. I'm like, I don't know where this is coming from. And this is somebody who gave it a good review for the site. But I feel like the gulf between good and classic is wide. And I think people are talking about it like it's a classic. And I'm like, I don't know if it's a classic as much as, we live in an era where the Minecraft movie made $900 million. And so a movie like Sinners is like The Godfather in comparison to
Hmm.
that. And again, I like Sinners a lot. I give it a good review, but I don't think it's a classic. And a lot of my like,
Why?
I'm saying why
Yeah.
it's I think I like the swings it takes
Hmm.
with the blues metaphor,
Hmm.
which has been out enough. I can say that that's in there. with the blues metaphor. I think in terms of being a metaphor, it's a little bit clunky. I think it's a little bit clunky. I think it's a little bit I find a little bit on the nose.
Hmm.
Maybe that's because I'm so close to the topic. Like obviously being African American, I'm like I know the themes that we're playing with here.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I just felt it was like it was for me. It was about the level or uh, yeah, about the level of like a really good elevated horror,
Hmm.
which is good,
Hmm.
which is good. It's super solid. It was just like when I think of classic, I think of will we be talking about this in 25 years? I don't think so. In fact, I would
Hmm.
even argue Ryan Coogler has a better movie in him that I think Sinners is probably like the step to.
I
Uh,
hope. I
I
hope.
hope.
No, no, no. Okay, okay, okay. I will say this. I loved
Mm,
Sinners, and
mm,
I wouldn't classify it as, again, I'm one of those, I guess, old-fashioned, quote unquote. I don't know how would you call it, but
mm.
to me, something like classic or cult classic, you need to wait certain time before we put those labels on any movie, right? So
Yes, I agree.
let's hold on to this, right? Let's hold on and see if in 10 years how that, if it's still gonna be in conversation. What I can imagine is, however, I think this movie will hold up. I think the reasons it will hold up is because all the elements click together, and Ryan Coogler takes some bold swings in a lesser hands, if the director was any bit less intelligent, I think those bold swings he takes,
Yes,
and there is
you're right.
specifically
Yeah.
the one scene, the musical scene.
Hmm.
Let's not spoil it because it's still fairly new, but there's a musical scene,
Hmm.
or not a musical like in a sense where they go sing and dance. No, but everybody who's seen Sinners know exactly what I'm talking about. And
Correct.
that
Yeah.
scene alone, I was like, damn, that's a choice. But then it worked. And I'm like, holy
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
shit, it actually
That's
works.
fair. And him
Yeah,
making it work is impressive.
and that's the thing. And I can see this scene in a lesser capable hand, in less capable hands, that would break the movie. And I can
Hmm.
see that
Yeah. No, you're
version
right.
where
You're
in
totally right.
somebody else's hands, that would break your movie instantly and would be like, what the fuck is this shit? What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
And he pulls it off. But I'll say this: I hope you're right. I hope Ryan Coogler will come out with a movie in a couple of years' time with something even bigger and even not even better, quote unquote, than Sinners. Because to me, like that's what I've written in my letterboxd review. I've seen pretty much all of his movies, and to me, Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther are all excellent movies.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
second Black Panther, I still am on higher on it than most because I don't think the problems of the movie he's responsible for that, because obviously there's a
Yeah. It's a big circumstance
unfortunate
of that.
unfortunate thing where your main star passes away. You need to kind of do a lot of sing and don't dance about that, and if you
Yeah.
don't, it would feel kind of weird.
And
So
Disney refuses to move the date of the release date of your movie.
yeah.
So you just gotta figure it out.
Exactly. So like no, like to me, like even like even the Black Panthers Wakanda Forever, I'm still higher on it because I thought what he did with that was probably the best anybody could have done with that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. I hear you.
But yeah, so for me, but he done three amazing movies, and then he came out with Sinners and blew all of those past. Like it's like no, I'm here, and I would like to
Hmm.
see it
Hmm.
at a quote unquote big boys table because
Yeah.
and I am very intrigued, and I hope Academy will not forget Sinners next year. I really
Yeah.
hope they
We'll
will
see.
not
We'll
fucking
see.
forget. Just
I don't think they will. I don't think they will. But we'll
I
see.
look, I hope not, but like, we know our academy, and like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
they definitely
they make
can
some
make us mistakes.
they make some choices that can only be defined as questionable. But yeah, with
Correct.
Coogler, I think like my thing is people have been talking about him like he's gonna be the next Spielberg or Scorsese. Some people truly since like Creed, like for a long, long, long time. And I think Sinners was the first time where he's stepping out and being like, okay, this is my vision.
Yeah.
Because before it's kind of been more like based on other stuff.
Yes.
And so I'm like, all right, that's cool. But that's like to me, this feels like a first foray. Like I'm like, this feels like you got more to show. And if you don't have more to show, then like I wouldn't put him on a Spielberg Scorsese level. Sorry, but that's like I see scenarios. I'm like, this looks like a good start to that. Because before with the franchise movies, they're really good, they're really
Mhm.
excellent, but they're still to me, I have to put franchise movies a little bit lower than like when you have movies that are franchise like starters
I
or not connected to franchise at all.
Yeah,
Like I respect. It's not about I respect the franchise ones less. I feel like I respect the ones disconnected from franchises more. You know?
I see what you mean. Like you
Yeah,
appreciate the original better,
yeah,
like
yeah,
original
yeah,
idea. Which, to be fair, even the Fruitvale Station is unfortunately based on a true story, so it's
yeah.
based on
Exactly.
something, right? However,
Yeah.
what I would say to that point, I to a certain degree I understand and I agree. However, like for example, like when Creed was announced back in the day. I'm like,
Mm.
do we fucking need this? Let that franchise
Yeah.
be, right? But then I actually went to see it in a cinema, and I still
Mm.
remember the one of the fights. I think it was the first fight we see, like halfway through the movie, and it's all in one take. And I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking good. And then the movie pumps you up like the original Rocky used to,
Hmm.
and like Stallone gives actually a good great performance. And Michael B. Jordan is like, "Hey, I've arrived. I'm gonna take over the cinema. Thank you very much." And I'm like, "Damn, this slapped so fucking hard. This shouldn't have slapped this hard." So like, I understand your point, and I kind of agree. But at the same time, if there's a director that makes this franchise movie and makes it to the point where like I was actually then pumped for Creed 2, there is something to be said there, you know.
Yes, yeah, and for sure. And but that's the thing. I would say Ryan Coogler is one of the best directors in what I would call like the franchise era of movie making, which is like now.
Hmm.
And he's one of the best in that era. And I'm like, that's cool. And and this is me saying this as I still consider myself like a film pleb. There's a lot I have not seen, but I feel like this is one of the worst eras for filmmaking in a lot of ways. And so I'm like, yeah, he's the best of like his generation. And I'm like, his generation is not, in my opinion, stellar. I mean, we have a lot of stellar filmmakers. I just think we had a lot more back in the day, in my opinion.
Hmm.
So I'm like, he's the best of like he's one of the best of the 2010s for sure. I don't think the 2010s was like an amazing time for cinema, you know, in how I see it.
Interesting. I definitely think 2010s has been great, but I think it's more like international. Like the
Probably, yeah, that's probably an American perspective.
like
I just,
because like France, like French ladies are fucking killing it. Like if
mm.
you're a French director, woman director, I know at least three that I'm excited for their movies. So, I cannot remember their names. Because they are like usually very French. So I'm like, I don't even
Yeah,
know how
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
pronounce this
I
shit.
pronounce them right, so they're not gonna stick.
But like Coralie, the only one I remember is Coralie Farge, which The Substance, my favorite movie of
Ooh, I
last
love the
year.
substance. That was my
Me too.
second favorite movie last year.
See, mine
Yeah.
was my first. What was the first, by the way?
What was the first? Ah, I'm on the spot. Let me go. Let me go back to my list because it's there. It's one of those things that should be on the top of my mind, but it's not.
No, it's all right. It's okay.
Keep talking; it'll come. It'll come
Yeah,
later on in the conversation, out of the blue.
and so there's the Coralie Farge, and like because she made
Mhm.
Substance, and even her previous movie Revenge, I watched after. It's also great. And then
Mhm.
there's a French lady who made the movie Raw, and then Titan, and those are great movies. Like I know
I've heard of
Titan.
those. I have not seen them.
Well, look, Raw is more family friendly, even though it's about cannibalism. But Titan is one hell of a trip movie. Like Titan,
is
imagine,
that
yeah,
is that about having sex in the car? Is that one?
yes, yes. That's basically look.
Oh boy.
Is there a scene where a girl or a woman has a sex with a car? Yes. Is that the point of the movie? Kinda, but it's not. But you need to watch the movie.
Sorta.
But you need to watch the movie because it's spectacular. And if you actually focus on not the weird parts, but like if you actually try to focus on the story and the theme of the movie, it's actually
Mhm.
amazing. And again, Raw, the movie, it's like, oh yeah, I see what's happening, I see what's happening, I see what's happening, and then the way it ends, and not without any spoilers. the way it ends, American movie would go 10 minutes more.
Mm.
There's something happens where it's like everything like just gets underlined. It's like, oh, that's the point. Or not a point. That's like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
shit, that makes sense. And the movie just ends. And I'm like, and I'm like, we
yeah.
need 10 more minutes of flashbacks and then 10 more minutes of explanation. No, no, no. And then the movie just like ends. I'm like, amazing. 10 out of 10. Fucking love that. And it's just and then there's what's her name? Celine something that's made the Portrait of a Lady on Fire and quite
Hmm.
a few other movies. And she also like is an amazing filmmaker. So I'm like, I feel like Americans not slacking per se, but I feel like
Oh, we are. We're probably slacking in several areas. Please criticize us.
but I feel like now great time to be into international features and international cinema because like 2010s and now 20s like there are some
Hmm.
amazing movies coming from France, Korea, obviously Bong Joon-ho, South
Yes, of course. Yeah,
Korea,
yeah.
like Japan, like there are some great gems and now more than ever you can actually see those because like go back to the 70s, you would have to
Yeah,
have certain connections to see movie from like Japan from that that year. Let alone now, if you
yeah,
have
yeah.
this streaming service or this streaming service, you can actually see it.
And even like movies that we would consider classic now, it's like back when they were released, they weren't popular, or even widely released. Like it was like if you like some of the movies, like if I lived in the town I lived in Tennessee, it's like I would not have been able to see it if it came out and I lived in that town at that time. Like this wouldn't have come. So yeah,
No, same, like same. Did
yeah,
you figure it out by the way? What was the your number one movie of last year?
yeah. It was I saw the TV Glow. That was my number one. I don't think
Oh.
I saw a movie better. That's really, and it wasn't. It was one of those things where it's like that. That isn't like even my type of movie per se, but
Mhm.
like I just felt that was the best of the year. Honestly, in my opinion, I thought it was the best of the year, like heads and tails above everything, including substance. Um,
I have heard some people like you praising this movie, and I still
uh,
it's on my watch list on one of the streaming services
Probably
I pay
overhyping it,
for.
but
I definitely am like it's gonna get played soon. But yeah, I'm kind of curious because like I know the rating is kind of mid, like on like most
yeah,
platforms
yeah.
like IMDb, even Letterboxd is not like that high. But I know people like yourself who absolutely adore this movie, so I'm like very curious. Hmm. Okay.
It's yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like I really loved it, but I'm still not sure. I think only time will tell.
Hmm.
But I'm not sure if it's one of those things where it's like you have to connect with it on a certain level or you just hate it. You know what I mean? Because I could
Hmm.
definitely see why some people would be like, this is boring, and I don't really like I don't like what is this even about? Like But for
Yeah.
me, it was like what it was about was really obvious, and then even besides like the surface level of what the internet discusses it was about, I think it's even deeper than that. But I don't really want to spoil anything for you, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay.
But I think I think it's one of those movies where like as the years go by, people will see that it's deeper than even just what we talked about when it came out. Because right now, again, I don't want to spoil what most people say the allegory is about. Right now, the main narrative of what the allegory is about is, I think, what the director explicitly, obviously wanted to show. But I think she's one of those directors where she's displaying a story that has multiple levels.
Hmm.
I think as the years go by, people will talk more and more about the multiple levels of Ice on the TV Glow. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm
I
kind
think
of
that's going to be a real classic as the
okay.
years go by. That's my bet.
I've made a prediction when I
Hmm.
watched The Substance for the first time in a cinema. I was like, I can see this in 10, 15 years being like a cult classic where it's gonna
I
play
think
in a,
so.
like a cinema and it's gonna be like one of those crowd movies where like it's gonna be a crowd movie and everybody's gonna be just like shouting because it's a very shouty
Yeah.
movie, it's a very loud movie, and I can see that. I again, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's gonna be forgotten about. I hope not, because to me it was a great movie. But no, I
Hmm.
saw the TV Glow. I am excited to watch it. I am definitely excited to. It's on one of my watch lists on my one of the streaming services I pay for. So I know of it and I'm getting to it. It's just so much to
Send the
watch.
queue.
Yeah, I
Getting
know.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think with this we can move to the underrated part of the podcast where I'll ask you, Jeffrey, who do you think is the most underrated actor we have right now?
My choice is Sterling K. Brown
Yes.
because I feel like that is we're getting close to that not being like underrated, but it's like he's still underrated by like I don't think by the public he's underrated anymore. I feel like everybody knows if Sterling K. Brown's in a movie or a show or anything, he's gonna kill it. He's gonna be the best part of it. Even like I don't know if you saw American Fiction.
Yes, I have.
But
Great
like
movie.
that movie is a good movie, but it is one of those things where like Sterling K. Brown is almost too good. Like if I was a director of that movie, I'd be like, you gotta turn it down, bro. Like you're distracting in so many ways. Like you gotta turn the Riz down. It's too much. It's too much. Like he is like one of the best, and I think overdue. I know he probably has a bunch of Emmys for This Is Us. I've never seen This Is Us. I'm sure he's fantastic in it. I don't
Mhm.
see. I haven't even seen like his like that's like what he's known for, and I'm still like even outside of that, I think he's amazing. So yeah, that's my choice.
I think he is
He needs
still
more awards.
underrated. No, yeah, yeah, I think he's still underrated because like a movie people like us, we obviously know him because he was nominated back to back for Oscars. So like I'm every time I'm
Mm.
like, yes, I'm so happy for him. Like he's finally being noticed. But yeah, like I honestly think if you were to go on a street and ask 100 random people, hey, are you excited about a new Sterling K. Brown movie? I think
Right, right,
many
right,
would still say, who?
right.
And
Exactly,
maybe if you show
exactly.
them picture, like, oh yeah, I know this dude. Okay, cool. Yeah, but like like I still don't think he's a household name, but I think it should happen sooner rather than later because he has that charisma. He obviously has the talent. Like
Yeah,
he is a great actor. I
like he
st
should be like Robert De Niro, like Denzel Washington. Like people should know his name. Like that's how talented I think he is. That's his level.
I I genuinely think give it 5, 10 years and he will be there. Like I cannot see him stopping anytime soon. I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
haven't seen Sing Sing, the movie he was nominated for this year, but I hear like
Hmm.
he is phenomenal in that movie.
Oh, I think you're thinking of Coleman Domingo.
Wait, so wait, what was he nominated for this year then? Wait. Am I
Sterling K. Brown was
confused?
nominated for. I don't think Sterling K. Brown has been nominated. I think you're thinking of Coleman Domingo. Sterling K.
No, no,
Brown was the
no.
guy in
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because Sing Sing. Which by the way, I love Coleman Domingo too.
No, yeah, Coleman is also great, but wait,
Coleman's in
Sterling
Sing Sing.
was definitely nominated twice. Wait, am I fucking wrong? Oh,
I
for
think you're thinking of Coleman
once.
Domingo because Coleman was nominated for Rustin and then nominated for Sing Sing,
Okay,
and that was
I'm
back to
dumbass.
back. But I think Sterling K. Brown was nominated for a
American
Oscar.
Fiction.
Like I think. Oh,
American.
see, that's exactly what I was talking about. I mean, I'm just gonna be real. That role, he should never have been nominated for an Oscar for that. He was just so good. Like that role. like
Wait,
I
I thought
remember, I
that's the
remember,
point of the Oscars to be good and then he get nominated.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's good for him, and I'm glad for him. But that role as written is like he is just like the supportive brother who's just kind of there to like contrast the main character. Like he is not supposed to be stealing the show. Like that is
Hmm.
not that is not a character that as written is like, oh, if I play this role, I'm going to get a supporting actor nom. You know, some roles are like that. It's like I know that if I can kill this, I'm going to get nominated for Oscar.
Yeah.
That movie is not like that at all. Like he is really playing a basic role, but playing it like a pro, like just killing it in a role that is nothing. Like every line reading is like this line should not have this much swag. Like what are you doing? Like this is
Because he
crazy.
is great. But
He's
also, like,
amazing.
what I was thinking is, have you seen the movie Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul?
Yes,
And
incredible,
like he
incredible.
just uh him in that movie, like I could make an argument he should have been nominated for
He
that
should have.
movie
Yeah,
because like
he should have.
yeah, I know you were right. It was Coleman Domingo. Yeah, so I'm a dumbass. I was just confused. So okay,
Who's
okay.
also
Mhm.
still underrated. Coleman Domingo, until Coleman Domingo, he's also very close to being a household name. He's getting very popular, but until he is like Robert De Niro level, he's still
Mhm.
underrated. Coleman Domingo should be a household name.
Because he was the one who, yeah, he was the one who got nominated for the Netflix movie. What was it name?
Rustin.
Rustin. Yes, I was like, it's R something. Yes, and I've seen it because of him.
yeah.
He was definitely the best part of the movie. Unfortunately, the movie did not live up to his level. The
Oh
movie
yeah, yeah,
was
okay.
here, but he was here. Like he's
Yeah.
the only
Yeah.
reason. Like it's a Netflix movie, unfortunately, for all its flaws.
yeah.
And not all Netflix movies are bad, but all bad movies are Netflix movies. I'll just say that.
They kind of all bad movies have the vibe of a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I don't. That makes a lot of sense for some reason.
And it's the same, like, it's just like, unfortunately, the movie couldn't live up to him, but he
Yeah.
uplifts that movie, Coleman Domingo, and he was awesome. So, like, if you want to see a perfectly fine movie with a one exceptional performance, watch Rustin. That's all I say.
Yeah.
So, who do you think is the most underrated actress we have right now?
This is my Buffy bias. It's Sarah Michelle Gellar. She's always my
Oh,
answer for most underrated actress, and it's mostly because of that show. I mean, I've seen her other stuff,
yeah,
like I've seen, but it's like watching all 7 seasons of Buffy. I watched that show, and I always think like we missed out on years of what I feel like she should have had like a crazy movie career, and it just never happened. And I feel like
yeah,
most people don't even know that she's that good of an actress. Like she's one of those actresses where I feel like if you didn't watch Buffy, you know her as Daphne from Scooby Doo,
yeah.
or the girl from she was okay. She's in Scream, right? I'm thinking of the right person,
No, that's
or is
Anna
she in?
Faris.
Who am I thinking of?
I was gonna say, are you thinking of? She wasn't. Oh, in Scream. Sorry, sorry. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
is she in?
In Scream, it's Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox. She.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
she
trying to
was
think of
not.
just a horror movie that she was in that I saw that I have very blurry memories of it. I remember liking her in it,
She
but I can't remember which
was.
one it was.
She was in. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't she in I Know What You Did Last Summer?
She was, yes.
So
But I don't think that's the movie I'm thinking of though. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was in that one. Yeah. So I think that's
but,
because. Yeah. It's a
but
basic, and
yeah,
which is basically Scream knockoff. So I understand why you
okay,
confused.
maybe it might be that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought No What You Did Last Summer was like some kind of teen comedy that I just never saw. But if that's like a Scream knockoff, then yeah, then
It
probably
is.
that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
And
okay, that's what I'm thinking
and we are getting another, we are getting another sequel to that movie, so of course we need it.
of. Right, it's so necessary.
Yes.
Everybody was begging for a sequel. I know what you did.
Yes. Because why? Nostalgia, baby. Nostalgia.
This
But
is this is this is this is why we're in the worst era of cinema. But anyway, yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar. I feel like if you haven't seen all 7 seasons of Buffy, it's like you don't know how good of an actress she is and how much we're missing out on her not being in more movies. We really are. She's great.
I don't know.
She's getting back into it now,
Mhm.
but
I don't know if you're gonna be surprised or not, but I have actually binged the entire Buffy one like a 3, 4 years ago now. So I
okay,
have
cool,
seen
cool.
all 7 seasons, and I've also did the Watchers watch where you watch Buffy and Angel together from like season 4 of Buffy because like Angel starts like
Yeah, yeah,
season.
yeah.
So there's like a special watch list because those two kind of intertwine and it's
Yes,
kind of cool. So like if you want and if people has never they've never seen either of those shows, watch Buffy first 3 seasons.
please watch Buffy. Yeah,
Yeah, no, no,
I
100%.
love that show so much.
It's a great show, I'll say. It's a great show. And then once Angel starts, season 4 and season 4 of Buffy starts, then there's a special kind of order if you want to enhance your experience. You can actually watch it like, where they tell you watch these episodes of Buffy, then switch to Angel, then switch to Buffy, and you kind of ping ponging between those two. And it's interesting. I'll say that. And Buffy, like to your point, Sarah Michelle Gellar, like she is proper leading lady. Like she's a
Yeah.
great in that TV show. And you excited for the new Buffy reboot?
You know,
They just picked the Buffy. They like
yeah,
we just had
I
announced.
saw, and I was like, I hope it's good. That's all I say.
Yeah.
I feel like I say that all the time nowadays. I don't want to be negative, so I just say I hope it's good. But it's like 9 times out of 10, it's like it's not about I don't want it to be rebooted. I got no piles of reboots. It's that most of these reboots suck. Like like most of them aren't that good.
Well, I don't
Like
think it's
even
gonna be rebooted per se. I think they're gonna kind of
it's like a
continue with it. Hey,
yeah, they are.
maybe.
I think because I think Sarah Michelle Gellar is still going to be in it, so I'm like, at least that's good.
Yeah.
You know, Buffy will still be around. Like you're not completely replacing her. It is a continuation, but it's a reboot in the sense of, I mean, this the show was over. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Yes.
they're
Yes.
bringing it back.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and nobody really asked for like I'm good with no more Buffy. And to be honest, I didn't really like season 7, and I didn't need any more. So
Mm.
even if it is my favorite show, I think it had its run. I don't think we need any more.
Okay.
But
Okay. Well, you
out
know
of
what they
curiosity,
say. Every generation has its Slayer. So like
they do say that, And I think every generation should buy some Buffy DVD. That's I think
Yes,
as that's what we should do on our side of things.
correct, correct. Okay.
I'm curious, what did you think about Angel as a show compared to Buffy?
Oh, wait, Paige.
Angel.
Oh, Angel. Sorry, sorry, sorry. I was like, what?
I
Who's
didn't I
Paige?
didn't watch them together. I watched Buffy first and then watched Angel
So,
separately. I'm curious about your experience watching them like in
so
order.
yeah, in order, I definitely the order helped. And with
Yeah.
Angel, I was surprised how much I enjoyed that show until the
Hmm.
season 3 and 4, when it's like kind of
Hmm.
fucking weird. And I'm like,
But it's
what are
crazy.
what are we doing here?
What
And
are we doing?
but
Right.
then also season 5 kind of slaps, and I'm like,
Yep.
season 5 is actually very good. So I'm like,
It is.
they
It's pretty good.
end on a high. Well, they end on a cliffhanger, really, and
They did.
because
They did. Yeah, they ended the cliffhanger. I forgot about that. They
and
do.
I from what I've read, they were actually pulling great numbers, so everybody expected them to be picked up for season 6, and then
Yeah.
who was it? Like I don't know if it was ABC or CW or whoever just canceled them, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, that's why we have this kind of ending. Cool. And but I thought
It
like
makes for a
the
very interesting ending, even if it's not
yes,
how they wanted to end it. Yeah.
yeah. But I thought like both are to me they're the same quality where because of the old fashioned way how this show is made, both Buffy and Angel have like their filler episodes because that's one of those, we need to have 22 episodes or 24 episodes a season. So you
Yep.
will get some of those filler episodes like, oh yeah, the gang is drunk on beer. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's almost like, or there's like a clip show, which is weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But I wouldn't be opposed to rewatching them again like that because I feel like there's like something comforting about it. And Buffy, again, Buffy is great, and especially for what it did at the time. Like one of the characters was gay,
Hmm.
and I was like, okay, for 1990, like late 90s, early 2000s, that wasn't that popular of a choice.
Yeah.
I'm
And for her
like,
to be like a person, like it wasn't like
yeah,
her whole like this is our special gay character. Like
yeah.
like one of the main characters was gay. Yeah.
So no, but yeah, like I like them both, and I thought like Angelo had no right to be as good as that show was. But yeah, are there some like behind the scenes drama, especially like with Charisma Carpenter and Joss Whedon, what we know now? It didn't seem
Yeah.
that great. I'm like, fuck's sake, can we not
and
just enjoy
and
one
and
thing?
it's I probably never like Buffy. I'd rewatch. I probably never rewatch Angel. Angel is like that was one of the most up and down experiences of a
Yep,
show I've ever had. Like we're like literally like I'd watch an episode and be like, why the hell am I watching this show? And then the next episode would be so good that I'd be like, oh, that's why I'm
that's
watching this
why.
show. Like it's just like it kept doing that. That was the crazy thing. It did that consistently throughout throughout the show in smaller and bigger waves depending. Like you said, season 5 is really good. In my opinion, it's pretty good. But season 4 is one of the not just bad, and it is bad, but it's just one of the craziest
Yep.
seasons of any TV show ever. And a lot of it, as it turns out, in hindsight, is because Joss Whedon was beefing with one of his stars. Like that is I don't know if you know about that. Yeah, for Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like it's just like a curse, like truly one of the most cursed seasons of TV in so many ways. It's a weird season. And then to get
Honestly,
season 5, and it's like they just sweep it away. They're like, "Oh, sorry, we even did that, guys." you
yeah.
know?
Honestly, I wouldn't mind if somebody, makes like a documentary from like that one season and what, like what was happening
Yeah,
behind the
what the
scenes
hell was
between
going on?
Charisma Carpenter and Joss Whedon and like makes into like a full-on like a documentary or like a mini series or something like because I think that on its own would be fascinating watch because just from
Yeah,
what I've read, it was insane.
just to see how did I want to see how that view translated into the insanity that was that season. Like
Yeah.
I want to see how did you get from I'm mad at you for getting pregnant to I'm writing the craziest television season of all time? Like how did we get this far? You
Yes.
know, it already started from a bad place. You as Joss Whedon as a creator, you getting mad at a woman for being pregnant. Like that happens on TV shows all the time. Work around it. What's your problem? Like it's not
Yes.
a big deal. But then for it to result in what it resulted in,
Correct.
It's
Like
like
no, like no, it is fucking insane. Like for anybody who has not seen it,
yeah, it's like anybody who's never seen season 4 of Angel wouldn't know what we're talking about, but it's like we can't explain it. It's just truly
it's genuinely hard to explain because like season three is kind of normal, kind of, and I'm like,
kinda.
okay, there's like
It's
some
like dipping into the
choices.
weirdness, but
Yeah,
it's like
there's
it's
some choices, right? They're like,
yeah.
but I could see where they were going, and then season four happens, and I'm like, oh, I did not see this. I'm like, what the actual fuck is happening? And I'm like, what? I was just so confused.
Here's like I describe Angel season 4. Just imagine like you have an uncle for Christmas and he comes over and he gives you a present that you didn't expect. And he goes, "Ha! I didn't see that coming." And it's like, "But I didn't want it." And he just keeps doing it over and over and over. And it's just like, I mean, thanks for the presents, Uncle, but these are all things I did not want. And he's like, "Surprise!" And it's like, "No, I don't like it. I keep telling you." And they're all very different surprises, but they're all uniquely things you don't want.
Yeah,
Like that's what it's like. It's just every corner you turn, every plot line is just like, oh, why is this happening now?
it's like that
Why?
gif. It's like that meme. Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah. Every episode, it's like, oh, who's sleeping with who now? Oh God. Oh,
Yeah.
what, what the hell is going on?
No, it's
Oh boy.
it's it's weird. But yeah. Anyway, Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's actually inspired choice. I like it. I do like it. So,
Cool.
who do you think is the most underrated director we have right now?
Pete Doctor. Still underrated. Still underrated.
Oh.
As a director, I
Mhm.
mean, Monsters Inc., Up, Inside Out, Soul. Plus, I mean, I know you didn't really direct the other Pixar movies, but like, kind of. You know, I just think as a creator, he's got a really good creative brain. He's
Yes.
not really. I mean, he's known for it, but he's not like respected for it because animation, at least in America, is still kind of regarded as over there. Like it's cool, but it's not as hard. Like yeah, people really see it as it's not as hard as live
Hmm.
action. So the fact that you have one of the best story brains in the business and then made billions of dollars in the box office, making, in my opinion, damn near perfect movies,
Hmm.
you don't really get as much respect as if you did that with live action. But
Yeah.
he should.
Yeah.
He should.
Isn't he also one of them who kind of got canceled because apparently he was quite inappropriate with some people?
No, I think you're thinking of the guy who was in charge of Pixar before him,
Oh,
whose
okay.
name is escaping me.
Oh, John
Lasseter.
Lasseter.
John
Lasseter.
Lasseter.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Lots
Okay.
of hugging Lasseter, as
Sorry,
some
P
people
Doctor.
called him.
Sorry, sorry.
Yeah,
Because I knew there was a one like prominent Pixar guy who
yeah, yeah.
was involved in many of their like best movies and it got canceled because like apparently he was quite touchy and inappropriate. And I'm
Yeah.
like, uh-oh, no. No,
No, Pete Doctor was the one after him.
okay, that's good.
Now, of course, they worked together a lot, obviously, but yeah,
Yeah.
they came in
They
afterwards.
didn't do everything together, and that's important.
No, yes.
No, that no, like those movies, like again, like the early Pixar. There's a reason why many consider there was this amazing streak where it seemed like Pixar cannot do any wrong, right? It's like they were
Mhm.
like banger after banger, like like Monsters Inc., Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, Wall-E, Up. It's like like even like many people would say Brave was kind of but I still loved Brave. Genuinely, it wasn't until like Good Dinosaur I was like, okay, I see them
Yeah, Good
stumbling a
Dinosaur definitely
bit.
fall off. Yeah,
But like they still made some great movies. Like Soul was great. Like I enjoyed Luca for what it was. I
yeah,
love Coco. Like Coco is
yeah. I love Coco.
like that.
Incredible
See,
movie.
you said about Schindler's List. That was the only movie that made you cry. Coco was my first movie that made me cry. Like
Hmm.
that has a special place in my heart. So like I wish, and again, when this episode drops, it's gonna be September, so it's gonna be long gone. But there is a new Pixar movie coming up soon. Ilya, I think.
Yeah, he's seeing trailers for that, and
I hope.
yeah, it looks like something.
Like, look, I hope they're gonna go back to their roots, but like their current plan of hey, we're gonna focus more on sequels and prequels and less on original ideas worries me. And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
Pixar, that's not why we liked you. But like money talks, and if Inside Out 2 made all the millions and billions of dollars, obviously they will go where the money is.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, okay. But it's again, that's a great choice. So I know the next one is difficult, but do you have a movie or two you would wanna shout out as underrated?
Uh, my underrated movie is Waves, but it's
Mm.
underrated because no one's seen it. It's not underrated because it's like anyone that's seen it is like, yeah, it's great. It's not underrated because people like don't like it. It's just like, why don't people know about Waves? Like, it's just really crazy to me.
Talk about Sterling K. Brown.
Exactly, exactly. One of his best performances, in my opinion, of many good
Mm-hmm.
performances.
Mm-hmm.
Great performance by Taylor Russell. Great performance by Kelvin Harrison. I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Just yeah, if that feels like one of those movies where like in if it came out in the '90s, it would have gotten Oscar recognition. Maybe people wouldn't have seen it, but it would have at least gotten that boost from
Yeah.
like, oh, this is good, good drama.
Mm-hmm.
We'll at least give it that boost. But I think in today's era, it just kind of got washed out. Like there's too much other stuff going on. Nobody really paid attention to it. But
No, yeah, like I finally watched it a few months ago, and I really
mm,
liked it. I thought it was great, even though it is a definitely story of like two movies almost. I'm like,
definitely, yeah,
I'm like, I don't know if I vibe with the second part of the movie as much as I vibed with the first one, even though the first one is fucking heartbreaking.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's definitely like more like, and then like the second part, it still has its moments and it still belongs to that movie, but it feels almost disjointed. But
I
I,
hear you. I hear you.
but I feel like it's one of those movies, kind of like Schindler's List. You need to watch multiple times. Like, it's not gonna be a
Yeah,
pleasant experience because obviously what the movie deals with. But at the same time, I feel like I would appreciate it more on a second viewing.
yeah. I think I really like the way the first half is so. I don't even want to call it negative, but it definitely shows like a downward spiral, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, and there's a lot of indie movies about that kind of spiral, and of course, Waves is a really good version of it. I'm not knocking that, but what I like, what's different about Waves from like a lot of other indie movies I've seen that portray that exact same story, is that it has that story, which is kind of typical
Hmm.
in the sense of there's a lot of indie movies about that topic
Hmm.
that the first half of Waves is about. It tells that story, and then it veers off in this whole other like life affirming kind of direction that yes does feel like a second movie, but I like that because of the first half. Like I like
Yeah.
how disjointed it is in a sense because it's just like after something that is so just like you say heartbreaking,
Hmm.
it's like all right, well here's something that's a little bit more positive, but it's not positive in the sense of like just like all right, here's some happy shiny stuff. It's like here's how you rebuild after something like that.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, after a
Yeah.
tragedy like that, and how hard it is, but also the moments of beauty that you get while getting through a tragedy. I just think it's really beautiful. You
No,
know,
again, it is, but just like, I was definitely not prepared for how
yeah, it's a shift.
different they will feel those two like halves of the movie. So like
Yes,
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Like, I as much as I don't want to, it kind of knocks it down a tiny bit. But that's what I'm also
Mm-hmm.
saying. I am aware that this is a me problem, so that's why I'm like, if I were to rewatch it in like a couple of years time, when I
Yeah.
know where the movie will go, I think I'll enjoy it much more. And that's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
like always like open to, hey, even if I didn't like this movie, it might not be the movie, it might just be me. So
Yeah.
that's totally fair because many times I'm the dumbass. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, many times the movie is great. I'm just like, oh, I was not in the right, space headspace where I wouldn't didn't get it what the movie is trying to say, and I watch it again, and I'm like, oh, actually, this movie is awesome.
Yeah. I think it's the coolest thing about art. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so much stuff I've seen over the years that's like, oh, when I first saw this as a teenager, I didn't get it, or even if I liked it,
Mm-hmm.
there's just a whole dimension of it that I just did not understand. Like
Yep.
when we did a Moonlight for the Sith Pop podcast, that's probably like the third time I'd seen that movie, and I was like, I'd seen that movie the other two times, and like watching it that third time, I was like, I didn't even understand this. Like I thought I did, but like I really didn't. And now I'm 26, like okay, this movie is not like I didn't even conceptualize the
Mm-hmm.
full arc of this movie until I was an adult.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Now, Moonlight is also a great choice. Like Moonlight is also a great movie. So, and that's also
Yeah,
another
yeah.
one I need to rewatch. I've only seen it once in a cinema. So, yeah. Oh, awesome movie. Okay, and the last, is there a TV show besides Buffy you would like to shout out as underrated?
Yeah, obviously Buffy. I
Hmm.
think I'm going to go with Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. the cartoon
Nice.
show from the early 2000s. That show legitimately has some of the best TV writing ever.
Wow.
It's a kids show. It's
Hmm.
concise. That's why people wouldn't see it as good. It's really, I would say, they don't waste time because they can't. I mean, it's a kids show. They got 30 minutes, but like if you put those scripts up against any 1 hour TV show,
Hmm.
it's better than most of them.
Okay.
Like just truly. And I think part of it is because it doesn't waste time on a bunch of extra drama, but like just it's really fun, efficient comic book storytelling. I just think it's funny where we live in an era where there's so much mediocre superhero stuff that comes out. And I'm like, you have like 5 seasons of like really great superhero storytelling right here. And like most people just haven't seen it because they just think it's a kid's show. And it is,
Hmm.
but it's a really well written kids show. It's got a lot of really cool arcs, a lot of stuff about government intrigue and government overrule and Justice League Unlimited. It's I don't know. It's a lot deeper than people think, and I want more people to
Okay.
watch it and realize that it's a great show.
I'm not gonna lie, I had no interest of like I heard of this show before you mentioned this, and
Mm.
I had no interest in watching it, but like the way you're describing it, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of
I
interested
feel
now.
like most I don't know how things translate overseas, but like I don't know if that show like aired anywhere outside of America. So I
Hmm.
know it's big in America. It was
Hmm.
popular, had a lot of toys and stuff.
Hmm.
At least when I was a kid. And I know like most of the people that I know had watched that when they were younger and then watched it later and like, oh, this is actually a great show as adults. But like, yeah, that's why I talk about it all the time. Like, I don't know if most people like they've heard of that show, but like they just see the picture of it on Netflix and it looks like a kid's show. And it is a kid's show, but it's like, there's so much good stuff in there and so much good superhero stuff. And it's just so funny because I don't know how you feel about superhero movies, but if you like them,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, that show has good, solid superhero storytelling. Like
Okay. Okay.
it's as I would say it's as enjoyable as getting into the MCU because it expands like a universe. It's really good.
Interesting. Okay, like I'm tempted now. Not gonna lie. I am tempted. Thank
Yeah,
you
and
for
I am trying to tell you. I am trying because like it's
it's
one of those things where it's like it's also you it has to grow. I
hmm
think I have a bias because a lot of me and my friends that watched it grew up with it. So the first couple seasons, or I would say the first season, is more of a typical kids show. Still really well written.
hmm
Like
hmm
the creators are basing it off of old like 70s comics. So, they were mature comics back then, but obviously there's like no swearing or nothing, or no
Yeah.
one's gonna brutally murder nobody. But it's mature in the sense where it's like it's more aimed at like 12 to 14-year-olds than it was aimed at like kids.
Hmm.
But then the story just goes in places where it's like, oh, like at first I thought this was just an episodic show, and then it just kind of introduces arcs. And once it introduces arcs, it's like what you thought was just episodic, it turns out was always connected. And
hmm
that's a really cool thing that happens as the show goes on. Where
Oh
it's like
yeah.
you
Mm.
feel like, oh, okay, well, this is just show episode to episode, Justice League having adventures, Justice League having adventures, Justice League having adventures. And then the
Mhm.
way they bring everything back in later seasons is so good. So good.
Okay. Okay. I'll investigate if it's streaming anywhere here because
Yeah, I
that
don't know
seems
where
like
it
that kind
goes.
of like a show where I think even my girlfriend like she's now currently in her like a low stakes kind of phase where she doesn't want to watch anything too, you know, dramatic or like on the
Filth. Yeah.
edge. And I'm
I
like,
understand that.
and we have like we have like 5 or 6 episodes, like a different TV shows, and most of them are dramas. It's like, oh yeah, we still haven't watched this, but she's not in the mood for any of this.
Yeah, all
So
this
I'm
stress me
like,
out.
yes, yes. So I'm like, okay, okay, we need to find something else. But no, okay, noted. I'll definitely, okay, I'll investigate if it's streaming anywhere here in the UK. Thank you for that.
Yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot.
So, Jeffrey, this has been a blast. Like, I thank you so much for your time. I honestly had a pleasure. Before you've been kind and patient enough to answer all of my questions. So before we say goodbye, I would like to flip a table and do you have a question or two for me?
This could probably be answered by looking at your letterbox, but what is your favorite movie?
So my favorite movie has been for a while Lost in Translation, which
Okay.
is a very interesting, I know, it's a very interesting choice. Many people don't get it, which is fine. It's
I would
just
like to say before you go further, I have not seen it. It's big
okay.
on my to-do list because
Nice.
everybody has an opinion on that movie.
Yes,
Everybody, it's
pretty
one of those
much.
like some people hate it, some people love it,
Yes.
that kind of thing.
like to me, it's a perfect like I don't know how much you're into like vibe movies, but it's a specific type of vibe where
Mm-hmm.
it's like melancholic and
Yeah.
it just showcases beautifully how you can be surrounded by thousands of people and yet feel alone, and it's all about searching for that connection and how if you find that true connection, like how it could work if you're a young woman, in the case
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett Johansson being like at the time 17, 18, and Bill
Mm-hmm.
Murray who at the time was like 50 something or
Mm-hmm.
maybe even 60. So like how that works, like that like
Mm-hmm.
unlikeliest of connections and how that can look and where
Yeah,
that
yeah.
can lead and everything in between. So like to me I'm kind of weird. Like I wouldn't rewatch this often. Like I've only seen it 4 times in
Mm-hmm.
like last 15 years or so. So like for and people and so there's many movies I've seen much more than that, but that's because
Yeah,
I wanna
yeah.
like I don't wanna. I'm not one of those like, oh, I need to rewatch it every year because it's my favorite movie of the year of all time. No, like I want to savor it. And I know I'm
Yeah,
quite
I get that.
unique in that. Quite unique.
Mm-hmm.
I know many people would rewatch their favorite movies like, every year or every second year or whatever. And I'm like, no, I just want to savor it. And then when I'm in that mind space when I want to feel a certain way, I
Yes,
watch
I
that
understand that.
movie and it always hits. And it's one of those where it's like from the first moments the music hits, like I'm right where I want to be, and
Mm.
I'm just enjoying. Yeah, enjoying the ride, even though it's kind of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sad movie.
Hmm.
Yeah. And now, like, speaking of movies, like, like how movies change with the age and like understanding, not understanding movies. My second favorite now is Mulholland Drive by David Lynch.
Okay,
I don't know if
yeah.
you've seen that.
I've seen that. That I will have to. Well, see, that's the thing. That movie, I know by the end, I was like, it's definitely a movie where you're meant to watch it again. So I've only
So,
seen it once. So I have to see it again. It kind of annoyed me when I watched it. I was like, ah. I know that this is the point. Like I have to. So yeah, we'll see.
I don't know if you listened to the episode. So we recorded like this February on my writer's room. So I had my big spiel about why it's my like one of the favorite movies of mine.
Okay.
And basically I'll repeat it. I kind of now I've this is my fifth or sixth time watching this. So I think now I arrived at a place where I actually know what's happening in the movie. What is,
Yes.
what's a dream, what's reality, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm at that point where I don't no longer care. Like today, like this was like when I was the last time I rewatched it, I'm like, I don't really care anymore. Like I'm just here
Right.
again for the vibes. Like the moment that movie starts, I'm yet again transported onto that LA night. There's some mystery in the air. There's some sort of like lust in the air. There's like a love. There is horror, and David Lynch is in the middle of it and is just directing it. And to me, like, even when watched it for the first time, when I was like 14, which is a bit too fucking early to watch this movie.
Probably a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm like I still remember, like it finished, and I don't understand anything I just watched. I don't understand what just happened, but I understood even at the time it was something extremely interesting and
Yeah.
fascinating, and I understood how I felt. And that was one of the
Yes.
first
Yes. Yes.
movies I'm like, I don't need to understand movies if they make me feel like this.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm like now at the point where if I put it on right now, I'm not even gonna try to analyze it anymore. I'm just gonna enjoy it. And that's I think that's the problem with both of my favorite movies. If you're not on that wavelength, you will just not gonna enjoy it, which is fine. Which is like,
Yeah.
again, like that's why art is subjective, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But like if you manage to link yourself to that like frequency, like like whether it's Sofia Coppola and Lost in Translation or David Lynch, and let you I always say, like, if you allow yourself to be led by any movie where that movie wants you to take, rather than, oh, I would have done this, I would have done this, I would have done this. No, 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 that's not the point of the movie. Like nobody cares about what you think. Let the
Right.
movie let the movie take you to where the movie wants to go, right?
Yeah.
And that's like me talking about movies online. I had to learn that lesson too. Like I'm like, no, that's a wrong critique. Like if you're criticizing a movie, oh, I wish they've done this. Like I don't think that's fair. I think that,
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you.
so like yeah, and ever since like I kind of let go and try to like hey, lead me wherever you want to go, okay? And I've enjoyed much more movies since then.
Yeah, you want to judge it based on like when I review things, I'll try to judge it based off of like what were they trying to do
Yeah.
and how close did they get to that. Like it doesn't really matter. At a certain level, it does matter how much I liked it. Or, like
Hmm.
obviously this is a review,
Hmm.
but there's some movies that you watch where it's like this isn't really my interest, or I wouldn't have maybe gone
Yeah.
this far. Or this isn't my opinion, but it's just a well-made film.
Hmm.
Period. You know, so it's like yeah, I can respect that.
Hmm.
Um, your feeling with Mulholland Drive, like I kind of chased that feeling with a lot of David Lynch movies because I got it from Blue Velvet, but
Blue
then
Velvet is great.
the rest of his stuff just did not connect with me like Blue Velvet did. And I know it's not like I think that's the thing. Like I can't say Blue Velvet is like better because like you
Hmm.
said with Mulholland Drive, it's like I don't really know what it did. Like I don't think I understood most of it, but it connected to me on that level. And
Hmm.
so it's like I know what you're talking about, Mulholland Drive, but it's just like for whatever reason that one just didn't hit. And with the rest of David Lynch movies, it's kind of how I feel, where it's just like well, from Blue Velvet, I can see what people like about him,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I just have not gotten that from the rest of his work, unfortunately,
Hmm.
for me personally. But I get the appeal for sure.
Yeah. And again, like, like I always say, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I know this seems like such a cop-out answer, but I'm not trying to convince anybody. Like, in a sense where
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, of course.
I'll give you my perspective on why I like Lynch and why I think Lynch was one of the few, like, genuinely, like, top three of people who understood, like, cinema as a language and
Yes,
how
I
he
can agree
was
with that.
willing, how he was not willing, how he was able to basically bend it to his will. Because like again,
Yeah.
like Mulholland Drive, love it or hate it, it's a certain vibe. Many and
Mm.
like there's it's a kind of similar, not just that, but like Blue Velvet and all of his movies. There's a like kind of like Quentin Tarantino. Only Tarantino can write like Tarantino, and many people after him try to copy that, right?
Yeah, that
But
sucks.
many have
Yeah.
failed because they are not
Many.
Tarantino. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and the same thing with Lynch. Many people then came forward as like, oh, I can make weird movies. Look, like just like David Lynch, and they like serve you like bullshit that makes no sense, because whatever is happening in David Lynch movie, there is some point to it if you open your mind a bit and at least try to think
Mhm.
about it. You might not like it, what do you find? Because like Blue Velvet. Like Blue Velvet is a perfect, like on its it seems like quite straightforward. But if you actually think about it, it's like, it's a critique of like, hey, 50s were not as nice and clean how everybody likes to
Yeah,
believe that. Everything was
yeah.
just kind of like underneath the rug. And the evil of society, it's always been there. Except it was just nicely swept away in these nice, clean, all white neighborhoods where it's like
Hmm,
everything was
hmm.
perfect. Nobody had any problems except they did. And people
Yeah.
don't like to talk about it when they say, "Oh, we need to go back," where before it was so much better, like back in 40s and 50s, because like there were no divorces, there was no this, no this, no this. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, okay, okay, okay. I don't think you realize what you said, but okay.
yeah.
Talk to your grandma why there were no divorces. Talk to your
Seriously.
surviving relatives, like why like grandma couldn't leave grandpa. Like, if you
Grandma
gave
couldn't
enough.
even get a credit card by herself.
Correct. Correct. So like, it's like there might be reasons for that. It's like not like, oh yeah, pure love, there was back then there was a pure love. People did not give up on them on each other. And I'm like, sure, but also women had less rights. And
Right.
and it was like much more shameful to get divorced in 50s. And it was so sexist that most of the time if he got divorced, it was always the women's fault rather than the man's fault because you couldn't keep your man happy. What do you mean? So like, and David Lynch again, like with Blue Velvet, is like, like kind of peeling off that layer, kind of like picking at the scab. Nobody wants it to
Yeah.
be picked at, and David Lynch is like, no, I'm a pick it. Let me do it. Let me do it. And that's why many people despise him because he's like, oh no, I don't give a fuck. I'll just show it, and you can deal with it. And I really admire that. And I was, excuse me, I was so sad when he passed away this year. I was just
Yeah, yeah.
heartbroken. But yeah.
It was so crazy too because I had just finished watching it. Like I've never seen his films, and I just I wasn't really marathoning them. I just kind of slowly made my way through them, and
Mhm.
then like right when I finished it, he passed. I was like, damn,
Yeah, and we were
crazy.
s- we were supposed to record that episode just before, and then something happened in our personal lives where we had to reschedule for a couple of
Yeah, yeah.
weeks, and that week we were supposed to record, he just passed away. So I was like, ah, fuck me. So like,
Yeah.
we were not discussing it because he passed away. It just happened to be like that. I'm like, hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So any other questions for me?
Well, none that come to mind.
All right. No, that's all good. So, genuinely, Jeffrey, again, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for spending almost 3 hours with me. I do appreciate your time. And
No
if
problem, no
people
problem.
have enjoyed our conversation, where would be the best place for them to follow you?
You can now find me at Jeffrey R on Letterboxd. I think Aaron's going to be mad that I got to do that for the first time on your podcast, not on his, after years of me teasing it on Sif Pop Podcast. But yeah, Jeffrey R on Letterboxd. That's where you can find me now.
Okay. So no Twitter, nothing else, just the
I mean,
letterbox.
yeah, you can also find me at Jeffrey Rahming on Twitter, but I plan to be on Twitter significantly less. So, but
Fair,
you can find me there.
fair. Okay. Those links will be down there in the description, so people can just click on them. For me, as always, in Movies Lost on Letterboxd, here every other Friday, and on Wasteland Retrospective once every month, and Cinematic Wasteland also once every month. And that's it. This podcast is part of SPDM Media, and a special thanks goes to HiFlyer Creative for designing my logo. If you want to see what else they have happening, visit hiflyercreative.com. And until next time, bye bye.